This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
And see it, you'll love it. And it's all done in the best possible way.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. Greetings to all the Knights of the Rhomboid table that have made it here today. Great to see all of you on the other side of the screen, although technically I'm not seeing any of you. I'm just seeing names on the screen and what you're saying. And to all those that try to be here and can't, the Collins, the Dave Cooks, and all that were regulars, but life and jobs have taken them away from joining us weekly as they did for so many years. All the people in the background, the Marks, the Jims, all you guys, and all of you that are able to be here on the chat line. So let's just jump straight in and say hello to the folks that are listed on my list, and then we will get into the silliness today. Andy the Hot Dog Pilot is here. Jean Ricard, you're going into work in a little bit. There is our Sergeant at Arms, Joseph Agliato, just came in. Dwight Curley is here. Dino from the Model Railway Shed, my fellow outsider in the sense that you're in a country where 3-rail Märklin stuff is not easy to commune and collect. Let's see. Jake, I believe it is, right? At the Mysterious Mechanic. John from Mystic Railroad, Ohio Steam and Steel. I have forgotten your first name. I apologize. I feel really bad. Rick's River Raisin Trains. Hello, my northern neighbor. Tim J.D. Dowd, our CEO of the Knights of the Rhomboid Table. Tom Couples and Chris from Bally's 56XX Railway. And anybody else who's come in, I have not seen any new names while I was greeting. So, there we go right there. Wolf Scenics. Wolf's X Scenics. PW, welcome in. Yeah, I'll get my chat board going. It's been a crazy week. Again, it's always weird. It just feels like I was doing this the other day. And I'm back in front of the camera. But it's had a lot packed in since I was last in front of a monitor on Artie's stream on Saturday, where I just kind of co-host. Hey, George, the Florida Railroad Dog, welcome in. We had, well, I had several doctor's appointments this week. Basically, all good news, so nothing to go into detail about. My friends on Facebook know what was going on. Just got a couple of things confirmed, which is kind of nice. But also, I got a couple of big boxes in from Model Bond Shop Lipa. If you saw my upload video, I got a new locomotive and I got a bunch of other stuff. I got we did a video because we got a box from our friend Jean Ricard in Denmark, which was awesome. And so hopefully he enjoyed that video as well as anybody else that watched it. All kinds of stuff. Some of it's on the layout already. I'll try to point it out as I go along. And no, McAfee, I don't want your service. I don't subscribe to your service. Quit popping up on my screen while I'm trying to talk on the live stream. Anyhow, I got a whole bunch of stuff back here, and the rest of it is already on the layout. So I will just share what I can as I can. And if you see a person coming through, that is our we have pest control. They come in once every couple of months and just make sure we don't get bugs in the house. So anyhow, let's start with the little stuff. From Model Bond Shop Lipa, I picked up some figurines, and you go, those aren't Era 6. No, this is going to be for that Big Gulch display I'm working on. I've got a Stanley Steamer here. I'm going to have to do a little touch-up on him, but I got Stanley Steamer. There is a character that I can turn into Lil, and another one that I can make into Madame Lot. And then maybe either Nat Mayfault or... But these will got several characters in here for the Big Gulch. And speaking of Big Gulch, from my buddy Mike McCarville Studios, here is a perfect model for the Squeaky Spring Hotel, where your rooms are with bed bugs or without. And then another one that I will not use the logo it has, but this will be just another one of the general buildings, not a specific building, though I'm thinking this might be the telegraph office. I'm looking at making this one into the telegraph office. So that's a lot of stuff for the Big Gulch diorama. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say Big Gulch diorama, I'm not going to try to explain 3 years of cartoons that I put up on this channel. And then I picked up a few more of these. These are going to go on my Bremen side layout. So this is now for the current layout. These are light up destination and train boards. So I had 2 already. I've added a couple more. And then, oh my goodness. I picked up a whole bunch more brick roading for the Delmenhorst side of the layout. So this will be sidewalk going one way, and going the other way, it'll be the road. Hello, hi, just came in. Tom Couples didn't just come in. I'm just now catching that you came in. Hello, Tom, hope you're well. Jim from Hover Motion, how are you? Glad to have you here, my friend. So, yeah, I just got all kinds more packages of this, so I can really just, when I'm ready to lay it out, I'll just cut it to width, and I will dirty it up, add up some of the other colors, because there's some blue and everything else in there. But that is that stuff. And then, one last thing, a couple of months ahead, but the first of the Advent Calendar figure packs has come in. So I've got this, and now I have to put this away until the beginning of December. And I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to do those videos again. They did well, but I did them because other people weren't able to do it that normally would, and I did it like sort of as a favor to them. And if they're ready to go back to it, then I won't, or I don't know, maybe I will anyhow. I just don't like to step on other people's toes when I do that. You know, it was not my idea. I did it my way, but it's something else other people had done. But last Christmas they weren't doing it, so I took over the job and did it. And you know, they got some views. It was nice. So the other stuff is on the layout. We picked up a bunch of stuff. Now, the big one is the new locomotive. So the easiest way to show it, if you haven't seen it yet, is I will go to this view. And you can see it right there in the front. It says ÖAMTC. That's the O with umlauts, AMTC. That's basically the Austrian version of AAA. It's the Auto Club, you know, American Auto Association, Austrian Car and Motorcycle Touring Club. But it's basically not entirely the same, but basically same idea. All right, thank you very much. Good.
One of my favorite teachers.
Oh my God, that is you, isn't it?
Oh, 16 years ago.
Yeah. Wait, give me the first name again.
Runs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Okay, I'm feeling old now, folks. Hey, EFO is here. Now, a lot of you may be aware from my video, I'm having although the issue I'm having has changed. When I got the Loco and programmed it and connected it to the cars, it would not work with the cars. It would not light, everything else. And of course, you know, I talked about that and everybody's got their ideas. And the thing is, these cars are designed, like with my current Railjet, they are designed that once the locomotive is hooked up, the controls are in the locomotive. Even though there is a decoder, a PLU16 decoder in the Steuerwagen, the control car, which I actually have here, it's not connected, and I'll explain that in a second. The Steuerwagen here, it's still controlled by the locomotive. So the lights and the travel direction, it has to be connected to the locomotive. Well, I couldn't get them to read. I couldn't get them to connect. So I just gave up and said, well, at least I've got the proper locomotive, because these do have that special PCB pin connection. I think you can see that there in the camera there. You know, you can't just use any locomotive. Now, I found out Roco does sell an adapter that plugs into this and then becomes a regular connector. I did not know that. So I'm trying to find it because Modell Bahnshop Lippe doesn't have it. But they do sell an adapter that you plug onto this and turns it into a regular coupling. It turns it into a regular whatever coupling. So if somebody can find a link to one where I can find it, because Lippe doesn't apparently have it. I was looking on Lippe's site and I wasn't finding it. Or if they have it, I wasn't recognizing it as what they said, because I was looking for something that had the PCB coupling and then goes from there. But anyhow, I couldn't get them to work. Hey, did I see Simon is here? Simon from SJ Train World. So anyhow, my grandson and I were setting up my trains yesterday, and I hooked it all up anyhow. My locomotive was working, and the cars were running, and we ran everything in. You even saw I had already done some running with it, with the cars. And so I was mildly frustrated. Okay, maybe a lot frustrated. So here's the thing. Today, I get all the cars in position to set up the show. I've test run everybody in. Everybody's working great. But while I'm trying to park, you know, set them up in lane 11 here. I shouldn't say lane 11. But in this view where I'm trying to organize them I kind of overshot the Railjet. So I backed it, the ÖAMTC, the Czech Railjet. I backed it up. I put it in reverse. And as soon as I put it in reverse and it started moving, all of a sudden, this thing started buzzing. And my Central Station 3 shorted out. It had gone for an hour between the test runs and everybody else without any issue. It just wasn't lighting up. But the minute I put it into reverse, when it's pushing, where the locomotive is pushing, this started buzzing, and I shorted out my system. My system rebooted itself, and as soon as I took it off, it started buzzing again. Even when I changed directions, tried to get it to go forward, it started buzzing again. Well, I took this off, just so I can run the trains today. But what's weird is I set this down on my programming track. And lo and behold, as soon as I turn the lights on the locomotive, they are not connected. They are not connected. As soon as I turn the lights on the ÖAMTC locomotive up here, the lights on this turned on. And the button that is supposed to control the lights on this from that locomotive worked, and the interior lighting on this lit up. But I can't connect them because they short out. So now it's working as long as I don't actually connect this to the cars. The directional lights are working, the interior lights are working, all the functions are working. I just can't plug this in to the end of the train. Now, Roco, a guy from Lippe said that sometimes these will short out. That the locomotive and these, because the locomotive and this, the polarization wires are crossed. And they said, really, it's a simple fix. You just have to change the you have to change the wires. You have to flip the wires either in the Loco or on this. You just got to flip one or the other. I'm not quite sure exactly what he's talking about, and they only say you can do it. They don't show how you can do it. And they said that would solve the problem. But all of a sudden, this suddenly started working. So I don't know if when they were polling, even though I connected everything, if there was a just a brief connect, that something wasn't touching, and now all of a sudden by pushing it squeezed it together more. But now it shorts out every time I connect this and turn the power to the trains on. So, but as long as I got it sitting here, it's lighting up, its directional signals work, the interior lights work, it's crazy. I don't get it. So sooner or later, in my view, I guess I'm a step forward or a step sideways. I've now solved one problem, but now I've got a new problem. Go figure. But if anybody wants to email me, those of you that are Märklin people, and maybe suggest, this, because again, some people are like, well, you have to program this decoder and control it separately. No, these are designed to be controlled by the locomotives. The old ones from more than 6-7 years ago, they had separate decoders, like my one Pico Railjet and some of my Märklin stuff. The control cab have their own full decoder, and you have to load them in separately with their address. But all of a sudden, this thing is working the way it should. I just can't connect it because it shorts out. But again, I was warned that could happen. And then they said, and then you just change the polarization wires in the control cab or the locomotive. Okay. So I will see if I can figure out what they're talking about there. But at least now, all of a sudden, it is lighting up and working. And it was funny because the locomotive's over there, and this is responding to the commands on the locomotive as they should have been originally. All right, so that's the big drama. I know I'm waffling on here, and I'm not even reading the chat. There's a direction sensor on one of the bogies. Yeah, but it's not even the direction sensor, or are you talking direction of current? So is there maybe something like the wire down here I need to change the wiring on or something? Or should I don't know, it doesn't turn around. But again, if somebody can email me rather than try and hope I catch it in the chat or throw it on the comments section of the video later. But email me where you can talk more freely and more detail. But at least now it is working. And it's responding correctly to the commands I'm giving it. It's going in the correct direction with the locomotive. I just can't connect this. I've got the rest of the cars are fine. It's this that's the problem. So I just got to figure out what to do with this. So today you will not see the control cab running. I apologize, but at least I've got the nice new Loco. If nothing else, I got a gorgeous new Loco. So I hope you enjoyed that. Otherwise, let me point out some of the other stuff here. And let's get to running the trains, everything else. You may have seen the video where Jean Ricard sent us gifts. Jean Ricard, we tried to film Cayenne's reaction to the gift you gave him. First of all, I got to tell you, Jean Ricard, he loves his car. And he wants it to stay here. Whoops. He wants it to stay here. He played with it with his stuff upstairs, and then he decided, let's go downstairs, and then he started picking trains. And I was just indulging my grandson. He wanted it on the back of the Austrian EC that I had running on the layout. Hey, Raymond Legs, how are you? John Benicki came in. Howdy do. I'm sort of enjoying. Hey, Clive, great to have you here. All right, so anyhow, Cayenne loved it. He was tickled to death, but he would not let us film him opening it. Part of it was he was being shy. Like, no, I don't want to be filmed. And the other half is when you're trying to film him now, he wants to see himself in the camera. And I just couldn't arrange that with him. I'm sorry, I've got a nasty bump on my nose here, almost like a pimple. And it's driving me crazy. I'm seeing it on the camera now. It's driving me crazy. But anyhow, I will show you some of the new stuff. I bought a lot of new cars. I picked up a DSG Speisewagen to go with the stuff from that Horst gave me. This is the one car I was still missing to complete the consist. So I finally got a Speisewagen. So I'm very thrilled with that. And so that completes that set. So I now have I have 2 full horsed trains. And then everything else is on the layout. So I'll just show it as we put the trains into action. So I apologize for going on. And again, I really am keeping things short, believe it or not. So let's get these trains in motion. And there is the Austrian Railjet taking off. And I actually saw this locomotive that you now see, the new locomotive. I saw either 3 of them or the same one 3 times. I think there might be more than one that has this decoration, this wrap on it. But you will never see this in reality pulling Czech railjets. You will never see that truly happening. But that's what it is doing today. It gave me something to pull these cars. Although if I could find that adapter coupling, then I could use my Pico railjet to pull them. Yes, it is EFO. It was listed as a Fleischmann car. I would not have recognized this here. I'll come back to you real quick. But did Fleischmann do the old hooks as well? Because that looks almost like the old Hornby small D-ring coupling. But yeah, it was listed in the ad as a Fleischmann. It also lights up. It's got pickups. Although actually this might be, that looks like it might be DC pickup. So I'd have to put a ski on there and rewire it. Because yeah, I think that's a DC. Anyhow, let's get the rest of the trades going. We're running the ICE3 today, as everybody knows, along with the Railjet. It's hard to pick a favorite, so it's one of my favorite trains. And then I am running a freight, and you will see you see the one with the fire on it. That's my Class 193. Oops, I'm on the wrong locomotive. Is there a reason? Huh, why does it work out? Hey, dude. All right, let me get the other stuff going here and find out why this guy is suddenly not going. Dude, you got the lights on? Huh. Why is he not working? Well, that's interesting. Well, let's get the other guys going, but we have somebody that is not running. What's going on, dude? Anyhow, if you know my layout, I'm going to see, for some reason, I am not getting this guy to go. Did he short out when everything else shorted out? But I had already tested him. Well, we're going to have a temporary removal here. Now I'm going to put you over here and check you and see what's going on. Wow, why are you not working? All right. Who do I want? Who do I want? I've already run recently. Okay, bear with me a second. I gotta stop everything and get this guy loaded in. Not quite sure why he was working just before I started the show, but oh well, when things go wrong, they go big wrong. Hey, Tony from Chilberton Junction, how are you? So we're gonna, no, we want to leave that one as is. What we're gonna do is this one real quick. Let everybody else get going. There we go. All right, dude. Thank you. But I added a couple of those red tarpaulins, so I picked up 2 of those. Hey, Mick, how are you, sir? And then finally, the beer wagon. So if you watch the beer train back there, you will see, where are you going, dude? Why are you backwards? I'm having one of those days. If you look at the beer train, you'll see the Carlsberg and the Tuborg, and then you will see a Haribo, the candy, famous German gummy candy. And that is Cayen's car. And I promised Cayen I would run his car on the live stream today. So that is all the lanes running now, but I want to find out why this little guy is not working, but I won't do that right now. Okay, but they're still listed as tarpaulin covered cars, but yeah. It's nice for me to have just even a short rake of similar cars. Right now everything's been very scattered, and I know in reality everything tends to be scattered, but if you watch a lot of channels, both rail fanning channels where they're showing the real trains and hobby, they'll usually have several of the same type of car in a row, whether it's flatbed container things, even if the containers are different, but usually it'll have the same containers. But that just gives it a nice little flow. All right, John. Hey, Andy, how are you? Thanks for that rail pool. I hope you're well. Okay, you're working over here now. So what was the problem over there, dude? What was going on? Okay, you're working. Yeah, all right, well, fortunately not a major disaster. I just put this guy on my testing track and he is working, so I don't know why he wasn't working over there. Maybe it's just... But that's good. I'm keeping you from doing your chores. I'm keeping myself from doing chores. That's the other big thing. That's a story to tell. Back in February or March, one of the inheritances we got from Joyce's brother, we took that money and decided our driveway is just in garbage shape. It is cracked, it's fallen in. We've got a horrible driveway, and it's the last part of the outside of our house that has not been repaired or fixed. So we hired a company, the most reputable and top company in our area, to do our driveway. And they put us on there April, May. Then they said it looks like it's going to be middle to late May. But we had a ton of rain in May. So all their driveway jobs got delayed. We understand that. We're not unhappy. So they called us and they said, guys, it's going to be mid-June before we can get to you. And we said, well, there's a problem. We're going to be in Germany all of June. So there won't be anybody here to, go over any of the issues. And we've put a 33% down payment on the job already, which was a lot of money. And so when we got back, we waited till after the July 4th holiday, and then we called and said, hey, we're back in town. Can we get on the list? And they said, all right, we will call, we'll get in touch with our various foremen, and they'll call back. They don't call back. We wait 2-3 weeks, and then we call and say, hey, nobody called us back. Can we get back on the schedule? Okay, we're sorry. Yeah, it's very hectic right now. Somebody will call you or contact you by email. 2-3. All right, just rinse and repeat this process. So finally, Joyce got mad because I'm being too nice. Joyce got mad and called them from work this morning and chewed them out. And I got a call about half an hour after Joyce texted me and said, I called them and they said somebody will get in contact. I doubt that. So they called and they said, hey, somehow you just went to the top of my list. You must know somebody. I said, well, no, we don't know somebody. And I explained the story and they said, oh, I understand. I would be upset too. And I said, to be honest, the only thing we're upset about is nobody contacting us to tell us we're being delayed. He says, well, we can come over this afternoon or tomorrow and start. And I'm like, no, I've still got a garage I got to finish emptying out, and I got to make other arrangements. So, all right, we'll start on Monday. Okay, great. Monday it is. But we're finally going to get our driveway done. But now I've had to rent a truck because they're also going to do the inside of my garage. They're going to redo the floor in my garage, which is all cracked up and messed up. So they're going to give me a nice new garage floor. So I'm very excited about that. So now that's all that. And I apologize. Yeah, it does. But then, and I could do that if I didn't run the red Railjet. You're absolutely right, Ifo. The thing is, if I were to switch them, then I'd have 2 non-matching trains. So I'm just going to leave it like this for now. And just call it good. But I have never seen, but it's possible that a red Railjet has pulled Czech Railjet cars. I've just never personally seen it, not even in video. And I have forgotten to get the floor going. My apologies to you 00 fans. That's more new stuff. So let's go to the floor and see what's up. The floor cam. I am running the Mallard, and the quick item on you will see 2 non-matching color cars because it's different companies. I think these are Bachmann cars. No, they said they were Hornby. But I've got a buffet car and a sleeper car to go with my 3 first and third class passenger cars for the Mallard. So they don't quite match. My apologies to purists. It's what I could find, and I've wanted the buffet car. And the ad said these were the Gresley Teaks. So there it is. But there we have the Mallard, and it's pulling a decent, respectable rake of cars now. And yep. And it lost the car because something always derails. killing me, Smalls. Why stay couple when you can uncouple? Oh my goodness. Oh, you're kidding me. Ah. See, there you go, Jean Ricard. We were talking about that. How usually on my stream everything runs smoothly, so today I'm having one problem after another. I jinxed myself. When I do have problems online during a stream, it's lots of them. All right, you don't want to carry it, forget it. Oh. I don't know what it is about. I mean, that's radius 3, but boy, that Mallard, those cars constantly uncouple, constantly uncouple, constantly uncouple. All right, maybe I can actually catch up on the chat and see who's actually talking to me. Hey, Ray Bell, how are you, sir? You'll be driving one tomorrow in GWR livery. I do like the 800s, and I do like the GWR liveries. Hey, Kieran, how are you? Great to have you here. Well, Jean Ricard, the thing is, my live streams do more than just make me look human. They make me look subhuman. My ego does not always enjoy it coming across as a fool to people. Even if it is only in the model train world, you know, oh, look at that idiot, you know, my very large ego has to be very subdued when I'm doing model trains. Yeah, it's radius 3, and they're supposed to be able to handle radius 3 without issue, but yeah, there it is. It's, you know, they got that they're old cars. They're used. I did oil the axles up a bit, but what I probably should have done was just done a little extra work on the couplings and that just to make sure they were down and more consistently level. Because the floor is level. I should know I did it. The floor is level. The tracks are C tracks, so they're level. But you can always have just some imperfection somewhere that might cause a bump and they pop off. Or they're going around the curve and there's not enough give in the bogie or the coupling on the bogie. And so, it's the sleeping car. The people were asleep anyhow. They don't know they've been pulled off the train. Hey, Christopher, great to see you. Sorry that I sent you an epically long message, but I was in the mood to babble today. And the funny thing is, Raymond, is that the faster I make it go, because it is a tension lock, the less likely it is to uncouple. I have found that. Because again, I do test these guys before I start the show. I make sure everybody's on and running smoothly, but some of them have a life of their own, a mind of their own. Yeah, and what happened to Caesar, Jean Ricard? What happened to him? Hey, there's Kiwi Dave, the wonder from down under. How are you, sir? Yeah, you have been swamped. And now you're bowling twice a week. And, you know, life. To quote John Lennon, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. So now all of a sudden my weekend went from just one of the quiet weekends, going to be one of the quiet weekends before my son is getting married in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from today, there will be an abbreviated live stream because we have the rehearsal dinner the night before the wedding. So we'll be going to the rehearsal, and then my son's getting married the next day. So I won't be on Artie's live stream that week either, because we'll be at the reception. Although it's an early reception, so I don't know. But we're marrying off my son in 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks from today, Joyce and I will be in Milton Keynes, England, United Kingdom. Well, I hope I'm alone in the house, but that doesn't mean there isn't that group of senators waiting for me to turn my back on them. Does she know what she's getting into? Yeah, she does. At the bridal shower, they had the... they play this game with how well do you know the bride and groom. And one of the questions that they ask the bride, you know, the groom's not there, so they ask the bride is, they ask everybody else, what do you think she likes most about my son? And then she gives the answer, and her answer was his compassion, how he cares for other people, and how he is driven to do the best he can for as many people. And Joyce and I just we raised that boy well, because we've raised all our kids to be that way. We are for others. I'm going to do the Vertigo sick camera, so if moving makes you sick. So here's my Central Station 3. Okay, here's my Central Station 3. Here is my Austrian Railjet. And there is the button that came on the Railjet that says turn on interior lights. That's the interior light button. And then this is the regular lights, you know, your headlights, tail lights. So here is my new locomotive, and it's got its headlights on. It's got its headlights on. So over here on my test track, or my programming track, where my son Kyan likes to play, not even connected. Oh, that stupid hand. Not even connected, but its lights are on. Now, if I hit the button, I'm going to hit this button here. So I hit that button. And now I don't know how well you can see it, but the lights are on in it. So it is now working. It wasn't working, but now it is. But now it also shorts out when it connects to the other locomotive, or when it connects to the rest of the cars. I'm perplexed at the moment, even though I was warned that could happen, which is why I'm not throwing things against the wall. All right, so let's stop making you sick. And do that. Ah. Can I do a close-up? Sure I can. The new one, right? This one? Which bogey? Oh, wait, I grabbed the wrong one. Sorry. That's a Fleischmann, too. Where did I put it? Oh, over here. Sorry. So I'll get both bogeys in. So that looks like current coupling pickups for, or not coupling, current pickups for lighting, except it's set up for DC. So obviously it wouldn't work on mine. But the ad said Fleischmann, DSG. So let's get some trains going here. Back to the multi-view. You tried to find Spanish locos and rolling stock with no luck. Wow. I follow a couple of guys on YouTube that run a lot of Spanish locomotives. And then there's my friend Tom Kessler, who, if you're watching, hi Tom. Tomas Kessler, although he's Thomas now. He's in America for all these years. Although he just celebrated his 36th wedding anniversary, which means he's a year behind Joyce and me. But he just celebrated his wedding anniversary and went back, because he and his wife are originally from Germany. So they went back to Germany for the first time in a few years, and went back to the place where they got married. That coupler is the clip over type. So you got, you know, the hook, the tension lock hook. The other one is unfortunately broken, which I knew when I bought it, but I got this for $5, okay? I bought this for $5 and $6 shipping. I figured if the wheels moved and I could figure out a way to fix the coupling, or take out this coupling, because I actually got a couple of spare Fleischmann couplings here, that I could take this one off and put the other ones in. Yeah, I might be able to do it on both sides now that I think of it. Maybe. Well, when I feel I'm in the mood to, crush my spirit a little, I will look at that more. But yeah, I bought a packet of those to repair some of the cars I got from Horst. And Fleischmann said use this coupler, and I ordered it. I thought I was ordering the Telex style, but it was the standard, or what I consider the standard Fleischmann quick release couplers, and I've got a few extra of those. So I just went ahead and put them all in. I'm looking around. There's no pest guy waiting in the wings. He said he was a former student of mine too, and it was Brent Hood. You know, I look at these guys, and yeah, they're in their 30s now. I taught them when they were young guys. And he's like, you were my favorite. I don't know if you heard that on camera. I want to go back and see if it came out on mic, but it was like, you were always one of my favorite teachers. And he said that in front of all you people. Now, I don't know if anybody heard that, but he did say it. Looks like it's crossed-wired. Well, it is a DC car. I bought it knowing it was DC because I've been trying to find a Märklin version and was not finding one. Still need the springs. I keep grabbing the wrong one. Keep grabbing the Speisewagen, or the Schlafwagen. Wow, a lot of this lines up, but not all of it. Okay, it's... Eh. What I may do is swap bogies with this car, this other Fleischmann. Just get rid of the current coupling because I'm not going to have them lit up anyhow. I keep saying current coupling. Get rid of the current pickups. Get rid of the pickups. Don't need them anyhow. And, well, maybe not swap out the whole bogie, but I don't know. There's a few ways I could jury rig it, because this one, yeah. Because, yeah, that's the one thing I didn't get. I got the 6523s. I don't have the springs. Oh, well. I'll try to find the springs somewhere. Of course, I could put Märklin axles in there and rewire it so it would pick up the current. I'd have to put a shoe in there. But that's just too much hassle. Hope springs eternal. Indeed. So, Sean Ricard, I know you already said it, but just because it's something to chat about, I hope you, I'm glad you appreciated Joyce's reaction. That was live. There was, I really thought she might have figured it out. Now, she says if she had read your letter, she would have figured it out. She would have known ahead of time. That's why I didn't let her read the letter, because you had already told me. So I thought, okay, I'm going to let it be a surprise. But I thought once she saw I got the Tuborg beer wagon, I thought she would go, oh, he got Anthony, so one of these is going to be a Carlsberg. But she was too caught up in thinking when I said he got something for everybody, me, you, and Cayenne, even though the letter said it was all for the layout, she was just, what did he get me? What did he get me? And she was so caught up in, I guess, trying not to guess. All right, good night, Simon. Thanks for joining us. It is 10 o'clock over there. I need to write that down. 6523. There's my pen. There's my notes. But springs for 6523. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah. Mick, the funny thing is, now whenever I go to Europe, I use Google Maps and I type in model train shops. Joyce knows we are going to look for train shops. In fact, I haven't looked to see if there's a model train shop in Milton Keynes. No, Dwight, I did not know he passed away. Well, I appreciate that, Evo. As always, I appreciate everything you know and can share. You just got the news. Now, I was not subscribed to him. I only knew him from YouTube chats. And he watched a couple of my videos and commented very nicely and politely. So it's a shame. I mean, obviously, the bigger this community gets in terms of the more our Venn diagrams of life overlap, sadly, the more we're getting this. Everybody now knows somebody who is passing away. Not to be cold or callous. I am just so many people I was close to on YouTube as well as in real life have passed away in the last 2 years. I'm not numbed, but I'm just like, no more, please, no more. And finding out that George Whitewall Wheels had passed away has just been kind of heartbreaking for me because I never got to truly thank him for the gift. And then it makes me wonder, did he send those to me because? Did he know something? Because all of a sudden we started talking a lot the last few months before I lost contact with him. We went from an email a month to 3-4 emails a week. Yeah, I know that, Tim. But the show is the show. How many you're going to have the big dealers, but do they have a lot of the small local guys, or not even local guys, but the people you see at train shows, the small shops. Because Getz, my outside impression of Getz is that it's all the big names, it's all the corporations and the businesses, but do they have all the little guys in a side room or along the one wall where it's just the little dealers? The guys that have all the stuff they keep in their garage and take to the whatever train show they're going to that weekend? Yeah, well, and he was part of that, and how do you say it without it sounding weird, but he was part of the American model train crowd. That's where I got to know him. He was in, he used to come to Sidetrack Sunday a lot. He a few times came to Artie's stream when Artie first started streaming. And I did know he kind of had been ill because other people mentioned it, that he had been ill at times. But that's all I heard. And so, yeah, but I was not close to him. I knew of him and had chatted to him a couple times in chats where he made a comment and I said, oh, hey, by the way, blah, blah, blah. And it was always cordial, polite and friendly. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't know him. So, that sometimes is just as bad. You wish you knew somebody. Yeah, NRX Anonymous is a great shop. I love them. I bought one thing from them online a while ago, but I've got their shop saved on my favorites. I just like to see what they've got. I go online and see what's in store. Hey, Leslie's here. How are you? I watched your video today, Leslie. I don't think I commented. I watched Ray's video, and I didn't comment. Lewis from Moldy Raspberry put up a video, and I haven't commented yet. I've watched them all, but I just kind of binge watch them all when I can, and then I go back and comment when time allows, but at least I watch them. His Lordship, Alan, put up a new video today. Boy, if you didn't see Dragon Junction's video today, what a couple of gorgeous rakes of passenger cars he was showing off today. Holy cow, those were pretty. Those were gorgeous. Just departing Milwaukee Intermodal on the 3 p.m. Hiawatha. Aha! Yeah, and that's true. Well chuffed usually. I won't say they always, but they will often. Especially if they bought something from the guy. I have heard that you might find some European stock. That's the thing. Rick and Pauline Welchuff, every show they go to, they find at least one dealer that's got a collection where I'm like, I would be buying that. I would be walking out. If I were standing next to Rick, I would be pushing him out of the way and buying some of the cars that he shows because they're European. Whether it's old Fleischmann stuff or Lima stuff that is Ford German, but he always sees cars where I'm like, that would complete this set, or I could add that to this. And they're at decent prices. He's had some beautiful locomotives that I would admire. I wouldn't buy them, but I would admire them. I did admire them. As well as he's even had some UK trains where I was like, I'm looking for that. I want that. And Wi-Fi being Wi-Fi, the connection, or Amtrak being Amtrak, the connection's crappy. Well, in all honesty, I will say the ICE-4s and the Railjets have great Wi-Fi, but the ICE-3s, and now they're even putting Wi-Fi in some of the regionals, that's not always the best either. The ICE-4s have good Wi-Fi because they were built to be total modern era. They have decent Wi-Fi. All right, I've been showing... Dare I even look at this? Nope, they're still running well. So it's just that one stooge. But it's now a 4-car set instead of a 3-car set. I'm happy with that. Even if the one didn't want to stay attached and make it a 5-car set. And that beautiful Azuma. One of the sharpest. Probably because it reminds me so much of ICEs. But it is just a gorgeous livery. I do love the Azumas. And that is just a gorgeous and I still love the Mallard. I would, in fact, while I'm at Getz, if I could find a superior quality version of the Mallard, I'd be willing to buy it because this El Cheapo Märklin is so poorly put together. Or Märklin, Hornby. Hornby. And I don't want to bash Hornby, but because Hornby makes this Azuma and it's awesome, it runs great. But this Mallard was not great coming out of the box. It runs, but keeping it running, keeping it on track. It definitely does better with the German track. When it was on its own Hornby track, forget it. But it does stay on here. But wow, it is just, the bogies are loose, the fittings are fiddly. I would like a better quality version of the Mallard. Well, yeah, and I love the 125, especially in the Swallow livery. That's probably my favorite. I believe the 125 was the Swallow livery. I do love that. But I am a modern guy. As cool as those things are, there's a part of them that says 70s. They are gorgeous trains, all the variations, the Class 43s and all that. Love all of it. But no, I am a modern guy. I do love the new, sleeker, modern stuff. And I make no apologies. But for you that love your freight trains, well, see, Leslie, that's why I'm an outsider. Everybody else prefers that. And I'm like, no, I like the modern a little better. Well, in most cases, they probably are 50-year-old chassis, people, which in and of itself, you know, Jean Ricard has, dare I say, enlightened me. I won't say he's converted me, but pulling apart that P8, as Jean Ricard said, 100 years from now, that P8 will still be running, and I won't be. So there's nothing wrong with the old hardcore chassis, but it's the exterior detailing and modern design, you know, more than anything else, just the modern shell design, not even of the models, of the real things. I just love modern. I am a modernist type person. My favorite trait, you know, I look at steam locomotives and I think they're beautiful because I was brought up to appreciate the handwork of men and women. You know, my dad taught me that when you rip off the drywall, look at how well the drywall was put up. Look at the quality of the woodwork behind. Look at how well the electrician did their job, how well the plumber did their job. Even if it was done in a way today that would be considered against code, in their day, it was built right versus when it wasn't built right back then or today. So when I look at a steam locomotive and I see all those pipes, and I know ironmongers shape those pipes and work those pipes, and other guys welded them and bolted them on, men and women, I always appreciate that. I appreciate the hard manual work that everybody does. But at the same time, I personally, for aesthetic reasons, just love the modern trains better than even better than the steam. I get more excited looking at an ICE4 than I do looking at a great steam locomotive. And even with my German locomotives, it's not national. There's a lot of these German locomotives, a lot of these Trax locomotives, the variations of them, just don't really seem to have a lot of personality unless they have a cool livery on them. And that's what makes them. You know, my 101 or my 146-2 in Deutsche Bahn Red, they're just sort of, they're not exciting locos. That's a nice bright cam. I really should pick a new place to put that. I was thinking of putting this camera as the new 11-lane camera. Indeed, Leslie, you got to be enjoying being on a train and traveling, especially when it's not part of the usual maybe train rides in the UK, when it's something different that you've been looking forward to for a while. Finally getting back over the pond. I'm looking forward to going to the UK again, even though I'm not going to be able to do much. The thought that Joyce and I are just, I'm excited for I love my two Rheingolds. Don't get me wrong, Andy. My two Rheingold locomotives, my Christmas locomotive, my BR101, my BR01, not 101, my BR01, my Christmas steamer is gorgeous. I love that more than any steam locomotive I have in terms of quality as well as how cool it looks. Although the Mallard is still my favorite looking steam locomotive. I do like streamlined. All right, Leslie, thanks for trying. I really feel honored that you tried to come in here when you didn't have to. I never did park the metronome all the way. I was trying to catch the beer cam and I just missed it. There it goes. Kayed! Oh, it didn't. I'll have to get the other camera. 6th of December, the Christmas layout will be prepared for running. Yeah, we don't. About December is when we. 6th of December, first week of December is when we put the tree up, and then we take our time. And then eventually the train will go around it. Then I grab the train and come down for my Christmas show and run all my steamers. Camera's like, what do I focus on? What do I focus on? Yeah, I saw that, Andy. When I asked him about that. But of course, the first thing he said, he wasn't a beer drinker. And I really don't consider myself an alcohol drinker, except when I'm in Germany. The 3 weeks to a month long I'm in Germany, I drink more beer in that period, and I still never have more than 1 beer a day. And I drank more beer this last trip to Germany than I had the previous trips because I really didn't want to drink pop. And beer per ounce is actually healthier than pop per ounce, liquid ounce. Well, hey, Raymond Anthony 127, great to have you here. Thanks for stopping in. But again, as you were saying, Andy, and Joyce and I have said it many times, it may have just been the crappy bottom of the keg, bottom of the barrel, been too long, whatever, you know, that we had, because it was on draft. It was a draft as opposed to out of the bottle. Now, here's the thing. Ever since Jean Ricard, we opened that, which I think was Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, we filmed the video. I've been trying to find Tuborg beer, and there's none in this area. And I've been trying to find a place where you could order it online, and every time I get a link that says, hey, these guys sell it online, like Anheuser-Busch sells it online, I go to Anheuser-Busch, and no, they don't. But our big beverage center, which is the largest distributor of alcohol, they have Carlsberg. They have all ranges of Carlsberg beer, but they don't carry Tuborg. And that guy said he doesn't think I could find Tuborg in the Toledo, Northwest Ohio area. He says I'd probably have to go somewhere in Michigan. So I'm trying to find a Tuborg so I can drink it and give my opinion. But I am going to go get a Carlsberg. In fact, I might do that tomorrow morning. I'm not to drink it, but I'll buy it and have it to drink later. Well, if it's available in the UK, I will get it and take it home. Your latest purchase. All right, I'm going to take a sneaky peeky at this one. Oh, that's a T16. I like that 3-color combination. I like the black and green and red. Because I did take a little bit of abuse complaining about all the green. And it wasn't just what was available in that catalog. It's just there are so many eras both in the UK and Germany where all the cars are green and all the locomotives are green. It's probably why I do respond so much better to other colors. There's just so much green. And as a kid, green was my favorite color, although black is now my favorite color. But as a kid, I would always say green's my favorite color. But yeah, it's a... that's the reason I got the Alex train, is everybody said you got every color but green, and Alex is green. Of course, now I've got those Aero 4 cars in the ocean blue and beige. Yeah, I'm a bit of a... I don't drink a lot of wine, but I do have a... You know, like we have wine at the holidays. The only so I'm not a wine aficionado. I do like wines, and I like red wines and white wines equally and dislike them equally. I like a good Lambrusco. I do like Rieslings, but every now and then they can be too sweet, which they shouldn't be sweet because they're supposed to be a dry wine. But be that as it may, I drink less than 4 glasses of wine in a year. I drink, if you take Germany, the 11 months I'm in the United States, I might drink 6 beers. The equivalent of 6 bottles of beer. And I always get my beer in bottles, not cans. But I drink maybe 6 beers, 1 every other month. Every now and then I'll just decide to get a beer because I don't want to pop and I don't want anything else. And then the only other alcohol I really drink is Stefan's Peach Brandy from Stefan's Weinparadies from St. Goar in Germany. And just to let you know, I bought 3 bottles in 2019 and we haven't finished the first bottle yet. 3 bottles of his peach brandy. And we have not finished the first bottle yet. That is probably my favorite liquor, is Stefan's Peach Brandy. I've even got a bottle of his ice wine, which I have not ever opened. And he's an award-winning vineyardist, or whatever they call winemakers. I might go along with that at times, train kits. And granted, I've had good tasting wines that came out of the big cardboard things, because the winemakers sell those too. Usually it's considered they're less vintage and they put it out there. But I've also been handed the equivalent of a $30 glass of wine from a $500 bottle and thought it wasn't that great. But the problem is the people have to act like it's great because they paid $500 for it. But I'm just a schlub, and I'm like, I had a better $13.99. I had better wine out of a $13.99 bottle. Oh, you're just not cultured. I know how to do the wine tasting. I've been cultured and educated in that world. But I'm just not necessarily an effete snob where it has to be a $500 bottle of wine to be any good. You know, I'm not like James Bond where, oh, the vintage and, I just... Hard lemonade exists. But one of my favorite wines is Riuniti Lambrusco. How low class am I? Because even in the Lambrusco world, Riuniti is considered like low end. My wife's one brother that's still alive, he can sometimes be a bit of a beer snob. You know, there are good beers, but he also doesn't like it when we bash American beers. Although he'll bash most American beers, but the homebrewed stuff, the microbrewery stuff, that's just as good as anything out there. And maybe it is, I don't know. I just find most American microbreweries tend to be very pretentious. And no, the Czech beers I've had, the German beers I've had, the Dutch beers I've had, a couple of the UK beers I've had have all been better than any American beer I've had. And I've had beers in America I like. But anymore, if I'm at an American restaurant that has overseas beers, if they have Stella or Heinekens, I'll have a Heineken or a Stella Artois. Otherwise, I'll get a Canadian beer, like a Labatt's. But that's the one problem. When I'm over in other countries, I want to try the local things like Alan from Buckland Junction. He's got this. Now, he has a very negative attitude towards European continental beers, especially German, but he just doesn't like German. The minute it's German, he doesn't like it. And I get why, but I think sometimes he so just decides he doesn't like German that he's not going to give it a fair chance. But he drinks a couple of English lagers that I would be willing to try with him. You know, like, hey, let me try that. You know, some of these very, you know, and they've got such great names, you know, Old Rooster in the Den or something like that. Wine is naturally vegan. Oh, don't put it on that. I'll stop drinking it. Of course it's vegan. Technically, beer is vegan. All alcohol is vegan. Hey, Andy Dobson is here. How are you? Yeah, Evo. And again, I learned this backwards. I learned all about that after getting the model train hobby. And of course, when I started, it was only modern. Of course, now I have several trains from different eras. I've got my 2 Rheingold steamers. And then thanks to Horst, I have 3 locomotives and 2 massive rakes of cars I'm bashing to try to get 2 rakes out of. So I have 4 non-Era 6 trains. I've got the 2 Rheingolds and then the 2 horse trains. They are metal. Are they die cast? I don't know. But they are metal. The 102 is a metal shell. The 152... I'm sorry, 152. The 181.2 is a metal shell. Actually, the only thing that's not metal shell are the cars, the passenger wagons. Most of the freight cars are plastic. And then the ICE, that's all plastic. The shell on that is plastic. The ICE3. That's not a bad beer at all. Belton's is good. I like Belton's. Oh, the Smart Rail. See, the one I want to get now, if I can find a time where I could afford it, is Joyce and I rode the City Jets. We rode the City Jets in and out of Salzburg and in and out of Vienna on our trips. We rode a bunch of City Jets, so now it's like, we rode a City Jet, I can get one now. But I'm also trying to work up the courage to buy a night jet, even though I've never ridden a night jet, but it's just a cool train. Well, Raymond, I might disagree with that. The motor has a lot to do with it. I've got a couple of very hefty 500-gram locomotives that are bad pullers, and I've got a 420 Märklin 101 that's one of my best pullers. And it's like 430 grams. So while that's normally true, the motor and how they set up the traction has a lot to do with it too. Yeah, and to be honest, here's the problem, Ohio Steam and Steel. Here's the problem. There are gorgeous trains everywhere, and I have to draw a line. And already I've broken that line many times, and Joyce does look at me at times, fully supportive, but like, do you really need that? And I have talked myself out of immediately buying a trainer Loco for 2 reasons. 1, it's not a need, and 2, things I do need, I'm waiting for, and I do have a train money budget, which has gotten bigger the last 3 years, but I still actually do have a budget. And I just, this is what killed me to buy this ÖAMTC was not in the budget. I did not plan on buying it, but then I didn't plan on buying those Railjet cars either. So that whole train was not originally in my train budget. Now it is. And on top of that, all these things I pre-ordered from Märklin are coming in. I've got a new locomotive that should be running on next week's live stream. I won't tell you what it is, but I've already paid for it and they shipped it out today. So hopefully it'll be here Tuesday or Wednesday. As long as there are no operational delays over there. Yeah, we're just not getting a big crowd today. Well, yeah, although all my Railjets and all my Picos have traction tires too. Every locomotive and rail car set, like the ICEs, they all have traction tires. I do not fully, I understand, but I don't fully get. There are guys that just hate traction tires. And I don't know if it's because by using traction tires, they feel they can use less weight. You know, or that they can build lighter, cheaper plastics and stuff like that and get away with it as a cost-saving thing and then just throw traction tires to make up for the loss of weight. Because that's how a couple of guys explain it. I don't know if that's true or not. Because I didn't grow up in the hobby. Because I don't know any better. Everything I own is traction tires, and I don't have a problem with them until I have to change one. Then it becomes, oh, yeah. Exactly, train skits. But every company cuts one of those, and they have to compensate for it somewhere else. If you have a quality motor, then you can put a nice, good metal shell. And again, I'm fully aware that the stuff, for example, this is where Jean Ricard and to a lesser degree Raymond and EFO have had a huge influence on me. But Jean Ricard, because he talked to me on camera while I looked at my locomotive and went over it. So I don't want to diminish anybody else. But where I really took apart a couple of old Märklin locomotives to see the old mechanics. And then I look at other old model trains, and there's no denying that as long as you can avoid the Mazrot in those, they're simpler gears, but those are built to last forever. You know, it's like an old car from the 50s. If you bought a car in 1955 and you took care of it, it would still be running today. The only reason they aren't around is because people didn't have to take care of them and they ran for good. And every 3 years, Americans bought a new car. And they were left rotting in the field. That's why you can find, hey, sitting in a garage for 60 years, this 1952 Chevy or this 1952 Chrysler or this 1952 Dodge. You're not going to find a 1975 Toyota Celica sitting in a garage 40 years from now. It will have rusted out and disappeared. 1982 Toyota Celica. You're just not going to find them because they're built differently. Now they've had to change how they build them because people now hold on to their cars longer. And cars are so much more expensive. But you get what I mean? So I see that in older model trains now. Even if they don't look as sharp and as well detailed as the new stuff, the insides are often, in many ways, better. Not always, but often. Especially stuff like Märklin, old Fleischmann, old Roco. Yeah, and I agree. Traction tires on DC take away a pickup. So see, there's a point, Jean Ricard. That's another brilliant point that I, as an outsider and only knowing my three-rail world, would not have thought of. So that's a brilliant point. Yeah, I can imagine that, EFO, because that's a big locomotive to begin with, a V60. I've seen them on people's layouts. Because I love watching, like, Martin from Märklin Vintage, and of course, oh crap, there's a couple of guys I watch, Rainer Hetler, that run old Märklin stock on old M-Track, and I enjoy that, even before I was being educated on the old Märklin stuff, just because I appreciate old toys from my old toy collecting days, my old toy hobby fixing days. I never tried to fix a model train because I didn't play with them with kids, so I never learned their fixings. I know how to fix the old American electric footballs. I know how to fix certain video games, the old handheld Coleco cartridge games. I know how to fix the electronics in those and get them working again. Digital boards were harder. That was hard. If the board was gone, that was harder to do. But every now and then you could find something and maybe jerry rig. But old Coleco football, handheld basketball, baseball, stuff like that, I would fix all that stuff and resell it. Yeah, I was told that the Märklin Big Boy weighs well over 2 pounds, like 3 pounds. The the Märklin Big Boy. So I'm really curious because I want to see. I really want somebody to show me at Getz a classic version of the Flying Scotsman, you know, up close, see the detail, so that I can compare it to the Märklin one and sort of decide which one looks nice. Now, the Märklin one is not done in the classic version. It's done as the version that's been on tour off and on the last few years. They're not doing it as it looked in 1955 or whatever. They are doing it as it looked in like 2016 or whatever. The LGBs. Hey, Sean, how are you, sir? Yeah, and that's true. That's why I don't use any cleaners on my track. It's my little scraper and vacuum and steel wool rotating thing, my Lux cars, and then the hard rubber I run along the tracks that time. Speaking of which, I need to get off my butt this week and clean my tracks. It's time to clean the track. And it's probably time to clean the wheels on most of my rolling stock too. It is time. When I say it's probably time, it means it's a few weeks past due. It's just a pain in the butt to get it all out and do it all. That's my problem. I am lazy when it comes to this kind of maintenance. Where it's so, you know, it's one thing when I'm taking care of my Charger and the 400 Magnum engine in it, and I got to do this and I got to do that and take care of it, because I had a lot of, well, I probably have almost as much money invested in this as I did with my Charger now. I don't even want to add up because I've got all the receipts. I don't want to add up how much I have spent in my model trains. But then I look at my friend Thomas Kessler and the 30,000 132 scale, 124 scale, 118 scale cars he has, and I'm like, 30,000? Then he has his model train collection? But I use, as my dad always called it, elbow grease in a lot of cases. But yeah, my tracks need a good cleaning. Actually, I cleaned them right before I went to Germany. But I probably should be cleaning them every 3 months. But the thing is, I rarely run them except during the live stream. Now, it's impressive to some people that my trains run smooth usually for 3 hours. But it is the only time they run. And some of my Locos, they're supposed to be cleaned every 40 hours of running. And I do keep tabs every 40 hours of running. And re-oiled and cleaned every 40 hours of running. A couple of them are every 20 hours of running time. You got some Zippo lighter fluid for that. I like the Castle classes. I like the Warship class and the Castle class of over in the UK. Using the Loco as the pickup. Hey, here's where somebody can educate me. I'm willing to show my ignorance. It all relates to steam trains, I think. Now, I hear the phrase tender, and I know what the tender is, but then I see trains and they say it doesn't have a tender, yet it's a steam locomotive and it has the coal. What's the other type of, if it doesn't have a tender, what's the other type of steam locomotive if it doesn't have a tender? Where, like, it's all attached, like it's all one section, and so instead of a separate thing. Tank engine. So there's tender and tank engine, right? There's a tender and a tank engine. That's the one I couldn't remember. So tender and tank engine. Okay. So now, in model trains, what do they mean when they say a model locomotive is tender driven? Does that mean the motor and everything is actually in the tender? Because that's what I logically assume. But they'll say some things are tender driven. Thomas is a tank engine. Tenderlog was a Schleppentender. Yeah, Schlepptender. And that's the funny thing, I knew those terms. Why do I know more in German than I do English? So when I see a model advertised as tender driven, the motor is actually in the basically the coal car, the coal wagon. Because I've seen trains where the pickups are in the coal, but the motor was still in the loco itself. That seems weird. Right. Yeah. Well, if it doesn't have a tender, it can't be tender driven. Because I'm pretty sure I don't know. Would my Ifo, Jean, Raymond, anybody else that knows my Rheingolds, are those tender driven? I don't think they are, but maybe they are. I feel like the drives are in the, I think the motor, isn't the motor in the chassis? Yeah, you could say that, Jean Ricard. Mine does technically have a tender because it cannot drive without that car behind it. Well, hello! Woonnachten in Netherlands. Hey, you were here last week and we knighted you. How come you're not knighted? Well, let's take care of that. I now declare you a knight of the rhomboid table. Okay, that's what I thought. But I was just looking at it and going, you know, there seems to be more room in the tender on that one Rheingold than in the other. But it was too light. The weight is all in that locomotive. So I assumed that the motor, I thought the motor was in the locomotive, but I wanted to get educated and know for sure. So now I know no Märklin does tender drives. But I hear that all the time on many channels that such and such is a tender drive locomotive. And I assumed it meant the motor is in the tender? Okay. Well, hi, Mike McCarville. Yeah, I've had a small crowd today. 2 weeks ago, I had 48 at one time. And that live stream got over 300 views and 56 likes and 1 dislike. Last week's video, which for some reason when they re-upped it, it had all kinds of glitchy to it, so I just took it down. But we had a high of 41 concurrent viewers. You know, a high of 41 people in the chat at one time. but we only came out with about we only had 170 views on it. So I don't know what it is. I have some weeks where everybody's here and some weeks where only the hardcore regulars are here. All right, Ohio Steam and Steel is taken off. Thank you for joining us. I seen everybody say bye, Ohio. No, thank you for joining us. All I do is run trains and run my mouth. And it's a question as to which one goes faster. All right, I've been on the multi-view for a while. Let's start going around with the big trains. There's the new guy. I should just follow the new guy around. So the Railjet and the ICE-3 are off to it. Oh, I did it backwards. There we go. And down to the floor cam. Oh, what the heck. I think I've got to do it. Whoops, not that one. I've got space up here. I'm going to throw it in. Add. Video capture device. Don't panic for a second. Bing! There, I'll try to add this to the screens many screens as possible. That way you can always get a view when I'm on certain cameras. Fireless steam engine, Stammspeicherloch. If the locomotive is tender drive, you're not interested. Because I've heard some people say, it's tender driven, which is why it's all these problems. But then I also hear some people going, it's tender drive, but it runs well. You know, so again, I have no dog in the hunt. I'm just trying to confirm what I thought I knew. As I'm buying more non-Era 6 stuff, I'm trying to learn a little bit before I go. What are the pros and cons? And again, this is all stuff I could Google. But I don't think about it until I'm sitting in a chat room, and then I just figure I'll ask people, because I would prefer to talk to people, even if it's this way, than just go to a cold Google and get some cold dictionary entry. Andy, how many trains can I run at the same time? Well, I am running 6. I could run, well, and 6 is the maximum I can run on this layout because there's only 6 full completed loops. I could run in, I don't want to say infinite number of trains, but I could put 2 or 3 trains on each row and run them as long as I had them programmed to not catch up with each other, which I don't have. I would have to put in, I would have to section so that each train could be read and then have it automatically controlled. So yeah, my system is set up, I could run. I am going to finally, Jean Ricard and I were talking, and I've talked about how some of my locos do have a problem going up the ramp. And let me do the DB cam here. Where this cam, you can see the ramp there. And I have just a small selection of Rocos where I call them weak Rocos Locos, a small selection of Locos that they go up that ramp and they slow down. They can't handle it. And Jean Ricard has suggested it might be that there's just not enough juice over there because that's about as far away from my power sources can get. The thing is, most of my trains can run up that incline. You can see the Railjet goes pretty good up there. And some struggle with it from the beginning and others have struggled with it as they've gotten older, and I assume it's just the motors are getting tired. But I'm going to run a power line up there, a secondary power line up there, just to see from the main contact point. I'm just going to run an additional line up there and see if by juicing it up over there, if that actually helps maybe some of the trains that do struggle going up the incline, see if it gives them a power boost. Again, it won't change I'm not changing the current or anything. It's just run an additional extender feed up there, you know, like a bus wire, where you have your drop downs, your drops. Except mine aren't drops, they're raises because they go up. So I will, because right now the only feeder lines I have are, I have one additional line. All my power is centered on, well, I'll show you where it's plugged in. Is it that one or is it this one? Yeah, let's go to Crazy Cam. Let's make y'all airsick again. So this is going right behind me. So get ready for the shaky cam until I can get it in my good hand. So mobile show. So we go right by. My power, can you see, goes right where that white ICE is going. That is the only power feed is on this track. That is the only power feed I have is on this track. And then I have turnouts which help let the current flow in multiple places. I have turnouts over here, and then over here. And for some reason, one of my trains just stopped. So I've got to sort that out. But I have turnouts that allow. But then I have a power line over here for going into this section of track. And then I have an additional power line for that parking area over there. But those are all off stream. Okay, let's stop shaking. And I got to go see why that train suddenly changed directions. So let's get going here. Yeah, why'd you stop, dude? Oh, because I bumped it leaning over. That's why. I didn't even feel it. Sorry about that. Nothing serious. I just accidentally hit the stop button on its controller. Which is why I want to move these. The big red button here, this is right at, when I stand up, that's right at thigh height, actually knee height. And whenever I lean over the table, if I'm over on that side of the table, I will bump it and hit the stop button and the change direction button. So that's why that train stopped, is I have each train on, everything is controlled through my Central Station 3, but then I have 2 mobile stations right here. So I have 2 of my trains are directly controlled on the Central Station 3. Central Station 3 powers everything, but I have 2 on the direct controls here. I have 2 here, and then I have 2 on this computer monitor. And then if I have any control cabs that need controlled, that have their own chip, I put those on this computer. That way I always have them up. And then I have a tablet down here, so that if I have to walk over here, I take my tablet and everything's on the tablet in case I have to hit emergency stop. All right, Ray, take care. We'll see you on Sidetrack Sunday. Yeah, the ramp, you can't handle the ramp. But, yeah, so that's the, oh, good timing. We have everybody over here, basically. Hey, Thomas Splitrock is here. How are you, Thomas? Great video you put up today. Yeah, Andy, let me go to multi-view again. I keep going to long view. Let's do, what's a camera I haven't been doing that always has good views? Well, the Delmenhorst low view lets you see the Railjet and the ICE3 coming in. And the other Czech Railjet way in the back. Let's do quick bridge view. That way you can see that new Loco and the cars running, other than the Steuerbwagen isn't on, until I can sort out why. But that is a nice new Loco. All right, so the answer to your question is everything DCC. The answer is yes and no. And by yes and no, what I mean is everything is digital. Fully digital, sound and light functions. The only thing that doesn't have sound functions is this really old Märklin I've got running that just went around the gray buildings there that someday I'll actually paint. But it'll be coming around. But otherwise, everything has a modern decoder with sound and light functions. The thing is, people use the term, because DCC is the dominant digital interface for model trains, the word DC, the letters DCC often get used by people to mean digital, and like DC's analog. Is it DCC or DC? And again, I will get all the tech people will argue, well, that's not good. But that really is what they're doing. They'll use the term DC to mean analog and DCC to mean digital. But many of my locos are by Märklin, and Märklin doesn't use the DCC language or protocol. It has its own, which is originally called Märklin Motorola, but now it's called MFX Plus. So that's why I say yes and no. Everything is digital. It is modern era digital. I do not run anything analog except the Canadian trains below me. The Canadian? Oh my God, the UK trains below me. Where the hell did I come up with Canadian for that? Where are they at? Where's the... Yeah. These guys are DC and 2-rail. Because not only is everything I'm running digital, it's 3-rail. Everything I run is 3-rail. These guys are 2-rail. And see, my thing is I'm coming out of the other part because in my world, and again, the tech guys will argue this. The electrical engineers and the mechanical engineers and electricians will argue this back and forth. But in my world, DC is often the term for 2-rail, and AC means 3-rail. So when you buy a locomotive from Roco, this German company, or I'm sorry, I apologize, Roco, this Austrian company, Roco, they will list their stuff as AC or DC. It will say on it, AC or DC. And then when you buy it, the box will have the words Wechselstrom, AC, or Gleichstrom, DC. So it's the powering. So whether Märklin is truly AC or it's DC using AC or it's AC using DC, I don't want to get into that argument, okay? Märklin is 3-rail and it calls itself AC. And Roco and Pico and Brava and all the other companies that make their stuff for Märklin call it AC. So let's just accept. But that's the thing. In my world, in the model train world, people use DC to mean analog, but it also can mean 2-rail current system, the direct current system. And I'm 3-rail. And then DCC is used to mean digital, but in my world, DCC is just another protocol language, and I use the word language in quotation marks. Basically, in my world, and guys like EFO and that understand what I say when I say my world, there's MFX and DCC, plus there's other languages as well. But MFX and DCC, it's like Apple and IBM, or Windows and whatever Apple's operating system. Except that everybody now makes machines that are mutually compatible. My Central Station 3 reads DCC, and it reads MFX, and MM, and MM2. It reads them all. The only one mine doesn't read is Scalextrics, or whatever one Scalextrics uses. Hey, did somebody say Mark DDR? Walter Hope is back. Thank you for stopping in again. Mark, Donegal Dad, just popping in for 5 minutes. Well, we better make it. Yeah, it is. It's Märklin created their own system. Why, I don't know. I've never looked it up. I didn't care because it was a fait accompli. It was the way it was when I got into the hobby. So to me, there's no point worrying about it. Listening to guys complain about it. You know, why does Märklin have to be MFX? Why can't it be DCC like everybody else? And it is what it is. I didn't grow up before Märklin created MFX like a lot of guys in the hobby did, where I can understand their frustration. But nowadays it doesn't matter because your Z21, your Central Station 3, your E-Cost, they read all of them. They read all those languages. They read them all. Protocols. They read them all. So it doesn't matter. If you have an E-Cost and you're running 2-rail, your E-Cost would also run my 3-rail system and read the MFX chips. In fact, if you split the wires out of the power system, you really could do a DC system over here and an AC system over here, 2-rail and 3-rail, and control them from the same controller. Okay, I'm going to control, on the left-hand side, I'm controlling my ACs on this layout, and on this hand side. And Miniature Wonderland has 3-rail areas and 2-rail areas, all controlled by their computer systems. So, you know, and I don't even get into the fight between E-Cost, Z21, and Märklin. They're basically the same thing, except the Z21 doesn't charge you to have its own monitor, its own screen. You just connect it to your computer or your tablet or whatever else, and you go from there. So you save a lot of money. But the Z21 pretty much does what the Central Station 3 does. I personally think the Central Station 3 can do a little bit more than the Z21 can do. But then the E-Cost and the Central Station 3 are identical, other than how the display features look. Because the Central Station 3, the Central Station by Märklin, was invented by the guys of ESU. They designed the first Central Station. And then they had a disagreement over things. So Märklin decided to do the Central Station in-house, and ESU created the E-Cost. And when the E-Cost came out, it was better than Central Station 1 and probably better than Central Station 2. Märklin came out with the Central Station 3, which I think is better than, and I had the E-Cost 52, the 502. And now they have the 5021 E-Cost, and I haven't used it, but I assume it's probably equal to the Central Station 3. I personally think my Märklin stuff works better with my Märklin control system than it did with the E-Cost I had earlier. I just think there's something where like likes like. Like likes like. But otherwise, they're all great devices, and whichever one you use, you'll love it if you decide to spend the money. Again, the Z21, cheaper. But everything the Z21 can do, my Central Station can do. Mine can tap into tablet and smartphone. And just like it, you still got to have Wi-Fi. The difference is your Z21 is less than half the price of a Central Station 3 or an E-Cost. It's less than, you could get the basic Z21 for $220 to $300. You know, what is that, 200 pounds to 220 pounds? You could get the real cheap basic one, which isn't as good as a Central Station 3, but you're saving a crap load of money. And it's going to do pretty much everything you want it to do anyhow. I do love my Central Station 3, but I'm not, hey, Central Station 3 is the best and everything else sucks. They're all great machines. Nobody, you know, everybody has their user preference, but it's like computers. Hewlett-Packard, it doesn't matter. You either get a good one or you get a bad one, but they're all good machines. Yeah, and you can get mobile stations too relatively cheap right now, because pretty much they still do everything the mobile station Mobile Station 2. I'm sorry, I'm thinking Central Station 2. Yeah, the Mobile Station 2s, and I've got 3 of them. In fact, the one thing I would love Märklin to do is create an adapter. You know how you have an HDM plug on your TV and you can plug in this multi-port HDM and now you can plug 4 things in? I would love Märklin to create a port that would allow me to plug in more than one, 4 or 5 Mobile Station 2s into it, so I could just have each train on a separate mobile station. Hey, Scott Rails is here. Hello, welcome in, sir. Oh my God, I've been watching this stuff for I shouldn't say too long, but I really need to get a light in that corner. That is a dark corner. Even when I turn the one light over there on, it doesn't really light up that area very well because the shelves block it. But there you get the Expanse. Which every time I show this, I feel a bit guilty because there are so many people like, oh my God, if I had that much space. And then I feel defensive because I can't tell you how many emails I've gotten, comments from people that say, oh my God, if I had that much space, I would have done so much more than done just a stupid end chaser layout like you have. And, you always quote Rule 1, but no matter how much we all quote Rule 1, there are people that just refuse to acknowledge Rule 1. You laid your first ballast today, waiting for it to dry. That's cool. Now, one of the few times I ever did a how-to video where I tried to show a little knowledge, and I had people confirm it actually did work for me, but this comes from my old wargaming days. When you're laying ballast, and, the video is at least 3 years old now. Back when I was actually showing me building the previous rendition of this table. But actually, some of it is when I was laying this ballast right here, the only ballast I ever laid, this little corner around. And then I decided I didn't want to lay anymore because I was thinking of changing some aspects up here. So I didn't want to lay the ballast and then have to dig it all up. But yeah, when I was laying this ballast right here, I actually did a video. And I tried to show a trick, and results may vary. As everybody likes to say, results may vary. But my trick that I find has worked for me, and it did work for this as well. So let me go to multi-view so I can stick my face on camera as well. Now, let's just go back to the long view, and I'll just look up here. All right, so here's my trick if you want to do it, but it is slightly more expensive. But there are guys that they talk about they lay ballast and they have to wait 12, 24, or more hours, depending on, are you out in the shed, are you here? All right, you've laid your ballast, and now you're doing your 50-50 water PVA mix with a little bit of dish soap added in. If you want that to dry faster, before you lay your ballast, take regular PVA glue, full Elmer's glue, just basic white PVA glue. Squirt it along where you're going to lay the ballast, except maybe inside the track, but even then a lot of you do that. It's just because it's solid, it's harder to wipe up if you get it on the track. But brush it out, smooth it, and then lay your first row of ballast on top of it. Then your white, your mix, your 50-50 plus dish soap mix, and squirt that on. Because what happens is when the solid white glue acts as a catalyst. It's too thick to soak through the rocks. But as it starts to dry, it actually combines with the mix you're dropping down, and it literally acts as a catalyst and starts it, it shocks it into start drying. And it can cut your drying time by as much as 50%. But do you want to put that extra time and expense in when so many people don't like ballast anyhow? But I've had people come back and said, oh my God, Dodge, you're right, it worked. Because I know it worked for me. Now again, it's hard to say how much it will take off because I'm in a climate-controlled room. So I'm not dealing with cold, warm, blah, blah, blah. But from a scientific perspective, it does work because once that starts hardening, you know, the hardening agent isn't just the time, it's the combination of air. And what happens is it latches on to some of the molecules in your solution and it causes them to start hardening. So it's not just about drying out, it's about how the air and the time allows that drying, because glue is designed to dry. It has catalytic chemicals in it to cause it to dry and harden. So it's not just it airs out and dries out. There are chemicals in it that, when exposed to the air, create the hardening process. And it does work in most cases. Your results may vary, but I have had many people come back that watched that video from 3 years ago and said, it actually worked for me. But it's, do you want to take that extra time? Since I'm not laying a ton of glue down because my track is already pre-ballasted, to me, I'm not wasting time. Anyhow, we've got a special guest here who's here every week, so does that make her any special? Hi, what's up?
Hi.
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 Hi, let's get a camera on you too. Oh wait, I have to switch.
Okay. Ah. All right. So hi, Tom. Hi, Wolfset. Hi, Kieran. Hi, Jean. Always good to hear from you. Hi, Valley. Hi, Andy. Hi, Dino.
I thought it was.
Hi, Ray. Hi, Michael. Just beamed in. Hi, Mike.
I thought it was Mountain High, Valley Low.
Hi.
You said High
Donegal.
Valley. Can you have a high valley? I thought valleys by nature had to be low.
Valley 56 double X.
I know.
Thank you, Tom.
Word game and puns. That's still
Hey,
that
Joseph.
Batman.
Hey, Scott Rails. Hey, Andy. You know that covers half of you.
There we go. Yeah, by saying Andy, we don't have a lot of the Andys in today. We have some,
Okay.
but we don't have as many.
As many Andys as we normally
We haven't
do.
seen March West
Oh,
Junction
you got
Andy, and we haven't
Nelson.
seen Warwick Road Andy, and we haven't seen...
Okay, well, you know, people do things, so.
Okay, you want to hear the crazy thing? Look at the back of this.
The back of the trolley, yeah.
Yeah, what do you see?
It's got something. Whoops.
No, the back of this guy, look.
Yeah, it's got lights.
Yeah, what was I telling you yesterday?
Well, you can get the lights on.
The lights are on. Watch, look at it closely. Oh, wait, watch it closely. It should go dark. Do you see it? Look in the windows.
It's dark in here.
You see the lights coming on and off?
Yeah.
Oh my God, woman. Look in the windows here, right here.
Well, those windows.
Those windows. Yeah, those windows. I'm sorry, I had to be more direct.
Those are the front windows. Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah, not cool. Because now it is working. And it
Yes.
is lined up. And the button that should be working on the locomotive is now causing them. The problem is, as soon as I attach that to the back of the cars, you get a buzzing, and then it shorts out the entire system.
Oh, Lord.
So that's why it's sitting here.
Gotcha. Sure.
But now I can get to work. So now I can buy one of those adapters. I can buy one of those adapter things and put it on the end,
Yeah.
and then just attach
Sure.
it that way, and it would work. But now remember, I told you the guy said that there was a possibility that it might cause shorting, that then you just had to split. He said you had to switch the polarity on one of them, but he didn't say how. He just said you had to do it.
Okay.
Said it
Oh,
might, if
thank
they do
you.
short out, if it does short out, you got to switch these two wires around.
Hi, Karen. Oh, Efo's leaving too, so bye, Efo.
Oh, good night, Efo. Thanks for all your information today.
I'm enjoying my Carlsberg car. It's cute. I see the Haribos on there too. So your beer train is slowly but surely getting bigger.
Yep, the beer train's good. But now it's not just my beer train. It's mostly my beer train with you and Cayenne's non-beer.
Yeah, right. I
Joyce's
got that.
Carlsberg car.
It's my Carlsberg car.
Joyce now owns. Let's see if model trains are truly addictive. Because while Joyce technically owns half of all my trains, should that day ever arise, or all of them
Indeed.
should that day ever arise.
Writer. Hi, Raymond.
Hey, there's Ewan. Hi, Ewan. All right, Kieran's taking off too. Good night, Kieran. Thanks for hanging out with us, dude. Appreciate it. Always honored to see you. The blue coaching stock is the Czech Railjet. That is going down below there right now.
That one's working well.
That's the Czech Railjet. Oh, it's running beautifully. That is a Czech Railjet. Railjet is a high-speed train made in Austria, well, for the Austrian system. So the maroon one is an Austrian Railjet, and the blue one is Czech, which the Czech Republic ordered off of Austria. But they're not as... The Austrian Railjets are really nice.
They're
Inside
nice.
and out.
Yep.
The Czech ones are nice, but not nearly as nice as the Austrian. They're scaled down a bit. And their locomotive, they don't go as fast as the Austrian Railjets can go. Even though it's the same locomotives, and in most cases the same cars. Same type of cars. So we've got 2 Railjets running on the layout today. And both are running quite well, along with my IC3. It's just I can't add the Steuerwagen on. I get pop. What's that?
Brawler's comments. I've got the flag, but it doesn't have it there.
Oh, do you see where the little letters AT?
Yeah.
That's because YouTube can't handle the that
Yeah.
version of YouTube can't.
But why did it work? Why
Not
did it work
YouTube,
on-
the computer.
You
like-
don't have it on yours either.
Right, I got the little letters AT, which mean Austrian flag symbol.
Yeah. You do on
Your
both
phone
of
can
them.
handle it. The phone can do it,
Yeah. Yeah, just
but the
saying,
computers can't do it.
You and the I got your flag on my phone, but it's not on any of the
Oh,
computers.
hello, Martin. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, Martin. Yeah, it would take you a little while. We got 28 people in here.
It's been a small crowd today, but a great
Oh,
crowd.
Well, awesome.
Oh, I've had all kinds of little issues starting it, but
I'm
now things
sorry.
seem to have sorted out. But
Are you getting the truck on Sunday?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go in one day.
we'll talk about that.
That's fine.
We can talk about that offline.
You're a little heart attack there. What? I was
But
hoping to
anyhow,
leave.
to go back to the one comment before I start answering that question,
Yeah,
is
dude,
Joyce now owns her own personal first piece of model train equipment. She has her own beer wagon. Now is she going to feel the need to add to it? Will she suddenly decide,
Well-
I need this?
Thank you, Dino.
Yeah, this one was acting up. It wouldn't go, even though it was
Oh,
running.
that
It was
one-
running right before
Yeah.
I started the show. Well,
Weird.
okay, earlier today at lunchtime when I test ran everybody and set them up. And I don't know why, but all of a sudden he won't work. Then I put him on the test track and at first he won't work. And now all of a sudden he said, oh yeah, I'm working. So I'd like to put him back on and see if he's working
He's
again.
tired.
But since he's working on this, he should be working on that.
You should, indeed. Yeah, so,
Because I really wanted to have my cool, because I'm going to do that as a theme one day. All my really funky livery
absolutely,
locomotives.
Ray can go to Cayenne, but you gotta see at that time if he really, if he still wants the trains, if there's room for the trains, all that kind of stuff.
We will see. I mean, I will
Expect
leave.
big things from him.
I mean, I don't want to go down the thought of what happens when I leave this world.
Right.
It's a depressing thought to me anyhow.
That is.
But
A double
you know,
diamond?
whoever, I'm thinking I might have more grandchildren by the time that comes. Right now, Kine is my only grandson, but it's not like he's automatically getting everything.
Yeah,
He
they-
just right now is the one grandchild,
Right.
and he enjoys my trains. But sports and girls or boys,
Very, very Perry.
puberty, let's just call it puberty. Sports, puberty, video games, hobbies, bikes and cars and whatever else will come in. And will he, like so many people in the hobby did, will he walk away from it and then maybe come back later? Or will he stay in the hobby? Even though life will still intervene and say, so it may be that all my trains go into a box and wait, and then someday when he's older and got his own family, he will break all the trains out, or the trains he got, my other grandchildren will break out what they got and say, this used to be your grandpa's.
Really?
When you guys tell your stories, like when Andy,
That's great, Ewan.
Hot Dog Andy, when Hot Dog Andy talks about the stuff he got from his dad, when Tris talks about, he still has the first train his dad gave him and all that. I'm jealous of that stuff, those stories. This came from my grandpa. This was my grandpa. I'm jealous of that because I don't have that connection. I didn't have that kind of relationship with my father to begin with, but I don't have anything from my grandfather or my father like that. The only thing I got from my father is a bad temper, and the only thing I've got from my grandfather is an amazing love of history and Ohio history especially. And I know way too much about too many topics that nobody else gives a damn about.
Indeed. Well, Daisy says, if you have not hit the like button since you came in, please hit the like button.
Daisy, I'd happily hit the like button if you'd show me your 38s. I mean your guns, honey.
Oh, sure.
Now, Miss Goggett, we all know what you really mean.
Ooh.
When you say tickle that like button, we know what you're really talking about. Hey, guys, you're getting some ad-lib big gulch stuff
Yes,
right
you
here.
sure are. I silence. I know you know me so well. Yeah. It's 3 o'clock. Zoop!
3 o'clock what?
That's when you started your live feed, but it just goes flying up, which seems so suitable after
Yeah.
that
Boom, it's
conversation.
all here.
Yeah, so
The chat's gone quiet. I think they're stunned.
they could be stunned. We shocked you into the R-rated flavor there. So, are we ready for Gets?
3 weeks.
Yeah, it's 3 weeks. We got a wedding to do first. Yeah, thank you, Shedmouth. That was a lot of work.
Now, Martin, understand,
And we
okay?
searched those out to be
Understand. I am recently retired. Well, not even recently now. I've been retired for 15 months.
Yeah.
I've got 3 children, the youngest of whom is 27.
7.
No, 28.
Is he 28?
28.
I think he turned 28.
And is getting married in 2 weeks. The youngest of my
Yes.
children is 28. They've all grown up, and I still have one that lives with me. My 31-year-old lives with me. With us.
Yeah,
You're here too.
of course.
Although some people might accuse her of being the 31-year-old, but that's a different story. And so,
You just look her in
and
the
I
eyes.
never did model trains until 7 years ago. I never did model trains until 7 years ago. So the kids were gone. I had this big basement in this little house. And that's true. My house is little, the basement's big. This was my children's playroom because the yard was
It
small,
was.
the house was small, and this is where my kids got to play.
Yep.
So I am lucky in that regard. So I remodeled this room about 5 years ago when we had a flood and it destroyed everything down here.
Absolutely.
And so I put in nice big banks of LED lights. So this place used to be dark.
Yeah, it was a dark
but I
room.
put in 6 large LED bank lights, which you can kind of see here in
And
the pictures.
fluorescent lights, and they were just not that.
Yeah, we had fluorescent lights
Yeah,
and they
you
were
know
not
what?
good.
It seems like a lot of people are coming on Sunday. And we'll be there both days, so not all the time. You can message Anthony. You don't think I could do all the time?
So, and that was done, was this, even when my kids were growing up, this room was too dark. It had lights, but, so when I redid it, I made sure I used the right kind of paint, because this is what I can do. This is a skill I don't get to show. I can build pretty much the main parts of the house, except I don't touch plumbing and the heavy electrical. I'll touch the lesser electrical, I won't touch big electrical. But I redid this basement with this layout in mind, and I had that opportunity because I was.
You are not wrong, Ewan. Or Ray, sorry. It's older kids.
Oh, indeed. Indeed.
Yes, sir.
This has always been a playroom. Since this house was bought, it was a playroom.
Yeah.
Even when my kids weren't in it.
Yay. I mean, the kids they grew up down here in a lot of ways.
And they had their friends over. This was always a safe place for all their friends to hang out.
Yeah. Yeah, their friends like coming over
Kid
here.
got kicked out of their house by the parents. They're sleeping on the couch down here.
Yeah.
Kicked out because they were gay or, not because they were a drug addict or something like that. But all my friends knew, and they would tell my kids about it. My daughter Lynn, if she came in, would talk about, all their friends would talk about how our house was always welcoming to all of them. And we were the one family, we didn't divorce. We didn't have all the things that most families go through. We were just that one consistent safe house for everybody. And, and they didn't, my kids, there wasn't hanky-panky or, drug or drinking parties down here. My kids are very teetotalers.
Yeah, we raised a bunch of nerds. We're really good with that.
We raised nerds.
Yep. And that's okay, by the way. We're no different. Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, now, we only got about half an inch to, well, what'd they say, 3 inches? How deep was the water in here when we flooded?
Oh, it went,
About,
I thought it backed up higher than that.
Oh,
I thought it
okay.
was about 5 or 6.
well, I would say it was about that much concern. But I had to rip out all the drywall, and fortunately, no floor electrical was affected. The outlets were safe. But we had to have all the old furniture, the bookcases. There used to be a big library along this one wall here. The wall that you see above me, that was a library and entertainment center. That was all my books, Joyce's books, some of the kids' books, which are now either upstairs in our bedroom or
was
in that room
a,
back there.
It was actually the sewer backing up.
Yeah, they were doing work on the sewers, and we got torrential downpours, so it was sewer flood.
Yeah.
Even
And
worse.
it just backed up. The system couldn't handle it, so it was quite a mess.
And just all the furniture down here, the carpeting had to go. The TVs and that were mostly safe. Lost some books, which I'm depressed about. I lost some books that I haven't been able to replace. I've replaced most, but not all. So when we finally had to, we started getting water in here again, because the flood is not when I completely rebuilt this. The flood was just a catalyst that we would have rainstorms, and if we had heavy rains, we'd start seeing water on the floor, and finally we just called some people in and say, hey, look, ever since the flood, now when we get rain, and they said they came in and tested everything and said your walls are just saturated with water, so there's no place for the water to stay, and it floods in. So they came in and they dug up the basement and put in a weeping system outside the house and inside the house. And I had just gotten into model trains at that time. I was about a year and a half into model trains, and they damaged some of my trains in my original layout.
Hi, Edward.
Hey, Edward's here. Hello, Edward. Man, I miss going to your live streams. Unfortunately, we are eating now that you moved to Sunday, but I think you're getting more audience and more people, so it's a
That's
win
good.
for you, just a loss for me. I can always watch it on replay.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's funny. I grew up on a busy
Amazing.
road,
Yeah.
Ray. I grew up on a busy road. I cannot sleep when it's quiet, and our neighborhood is quiet. I have to sleep with earbuds in and listen to something because I cannot sleep when it's too quiet because I grew up on a busy road. So it's fun. It's funny in a good way that you mentioned that you grew up next to trains, so to help you sleep, you could run trains around. That's cool. Andy wants to know, see, we've become predictable. What's dinner tonight? What is dinner tonight? What am I ordering? What are we ordering? What are you ordering? What are you cooking? Make me a sandwich, woman. Make me a sandwich. Peanut butter and jelly. Really? Live on air? Point where? This is a train show. Stop. Tempting. I don't know. You want burger? You want to do steak and shake? Or
Make a meatloaf and potatoes. That's great. Yeah, steak and shake would be fine.
then making meatloaf and potatoes. Joyce will be right over. Actually, I like meatloaf
You
too.
like meatloaf too.
I like
Yeah.
meatloaf, but probably I don't like most people. I like the meatloaf I make because there's no onions and pepper and stuff in it.
Hi, Tammy. Hi, Ray. Glad you guys came in.
Hey Ray, how you doing, man? Ray, your mom has got some cool stuff on your layout, and you are running some awesome trades, dude. You have got so many cool trains. It's ridiculous. Now, speaking of cool trains, did anybody follow the Canadian Chris from Go Via or Go Home and see his video he put up early this morning with his 4 new locos, or was it 5? Wow, were those beautiful. They were all ET44s. Holy cow, were those all beautiful locomotives. And now I just need Randall or somebody else to explain to me the difference between an ES64 and an ES44 and an ET44. The other Maine Coon is a doodle.
Hot dogs.
An alligator sandwich, and make it snappy. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you saw how she jumped right up and got on that.
Oh, yeah. You can order from here, can't you? You know what those ones.
Depends on what you want.
Steak and shake?
Steak and shake is okay?
Sure.
Why, yes, I can order from here.
And it will be quite so late.
Grubhub. Grubhub it is. All right, well, you take over the chat, talk to everybody, run the trains, talk about some of the history of these trains and that.
Okay,
while I
I'm
order
working
dinner real
hard
quick.
on these trains.
You're working hard.
Hard on these trains.
You could name 3 trains. Well, all right, I've got 6 trains running. You can name 3 of the trains and none of the locos. You can name the type of loco, but not what kind of loco it is, what its running number is.
That's true. I know that's a Taurus, but I don't know.
Okay, yeah, but
Yeah,
you could
I
name.
guess. I don't know its running numbers or
What are
anything like that.
what are the trains we're running? Actually, the rail cars.
This is a Czech
Czech,
Railjet.
Railjet, and then we're running along with it the
Australian range.
Australian.
Austrian.
Austrian, that's right, Austrian. And then what's the white one going around? If you get this one wrong, you're fired. ICE. Did you see which one it is?
It's coming around.
ICE.
Oh, 4.
No.
3?
3's more rounded. 4 is flatter nose.
it's 2.
4 has a flatter nose. 3 is the rounded one. That's a 3.
Okay.
4 and 3 are a little harder to tell
close.
apart because the cars basically look the same, but the nose, the IC3 has the more rounded nose,
I know they
IC4 has the
I was
flatter
trying
nose.
to look at that.
All right. But I'd give that to you. You recognized IC, but you should recognize because you've ridden these enough. You know your
Right.
trains.
You got your beer car and you got your cargo
We got the beer
train
train, but can you
going.
name what type of locomotive that is?
It's an old one.
It's an old one.
Well, it is, isn't it?
That's an old one.
Yeah, it's one of your steamers.
Let me see. So I'm going to. Okay.
Forgot the 2 on the floor. So I don't know what he's rolling there. That's the Azuma, isn't it?
Yes, that is the Azuma, Class 800.
What's the other one?
Well, wait till you see the loco. You should know that loco.
Yeah,
we paid
I
a
do.
fortune just to go see it.
I know. Oh yeah, that's oh boy. The Mallard.
There you go.
It's the Mallard. Oh, night, Ewan. Thanks for
All right,
coming
you want to
in.
go to bed? Good night.
Yep.
Take care.
So yeah, what's it pulling though? Those are older cars? I guess I knew you were getting those eBay. You know, I balance a checkbook. eBay, $12. eBay, $22. eBay, $7. What
it's
the
gonna be
hell
a
are you
while.
buying now?
613 to 623.
Yeah, I won't hit the emergency stop. I know how that works. I know how to turn
You'd
them
have to
off.
jump over me to hit the emergency
That's
stop.
true too. But I would, yeah, I turn them off for him. I turn the lights off and I turn
Oh
it
yeah,
down.
she knows how to turn it off.
You
She knows
know,
how to
he
turn
will.
it on. She knows how to run the train.
I know how to run the trains. He will have times where he's had Cayenne and he won't turn them off completely because he doesn't know if they're going to come back. So
Oh, I gotta leave.
if I come down, I see the system's on, I will turn it off for him.
I gotta
I'm good that way, you know?
leave some feedback on the base.
Helpful.
So where am I at? Where am I at? Oh yeah, I want to go here. All right.
Yeah, where is Cayenne and Lindy Loves? I need to text her anyway, so
Well, let me see. Those were probably the food text.
yeah,
Yep.
probably.
Okay. Yeah, Joyce has her own channel, and I will put the link here.
One of these days I'm gonna do something.
She hasn't done a new video in a while. She keeps promising to do a new video and
I
then
know.
gets distracted. Although she
Very.
wasn't my video earlier this week, our video, because it was for her. We really thought of putting that on her channel. Actually, I'll still put it on her channel. But, Joyce has a few train-related videos, some mostly joke stuff, and then all the stuff she does on my channel, she also posts on her channel. So if somebody else hasn't posted already, I'll post it. But there it is. But yeah, Joyce has a video, the top 5 things to hate about being married to a model train guy, the 5 best things about being married to a model train guy. She shows that she can run my system. She does a video where she shows that she can run my system. Hey, Joel B. Gates! That's Gips.
Hi, Joel. Hello, Joel.
Am I Joyce's distraction? I wish I were Joyce's distraction. Joyce's job is Joyce's distraction.
Right now, life is Joyce's
And just
distraction.
life. I mean, she's been through a lot the last year, dealing with a lot of things
There's
from,
just so much going on.
yeah, too much stuff. And of course, the last few weeks, you know, her previous school year, Joyce is a teacher. I was. She still is.
Okay.
What?
I just told her on Sunday they can take the journey because we want to get it out of the way.
Yeah, we need the journey
And
gone.
she can take the bookcases down.
Sounds like a double win.
So we don't have to make a ride out there.
Sounds like a double win.
Anthony distracts me frequently. There is no question about it.
I wish. Honey, let's go make that video you keep talking about. I can't, I'm busy, I gotta get this, I gotta get that, then I gotta do this, and I'm just tired, and
I am very tired. It's been a poor sleeping week. We got a little more sleep.
Yeah, by the way, if you know Matt
Wasn't
Clark, you'll
enough.
know that Smokey's voice is also my impersonation of Joyce in her whiny, naggy voice.
It's true.
It's my nagging wife voice.
Indeed.
Actually, what I want to do is someday when Joyce retires, I want to wire up her chair and see if she alone can power my layout.
Huh.
There were
Anyway, I
each
assume Lynn will answer me back and then we'll find out where she is.
there were each some things, like any couple, there are things we had to adapt to. Joyce's perpetual motion, which was very easy to adapt to.
I don't know. I annoy a lot of people.
But not me.
Look at all that. No, that's good. Look at all these right here.
Yeah, they're all there.
Wowza, there's nothing on that side.
Nope. I should have gone to the big screen, but
Everybody was on the 11 view? Is that
Yeah,
the 11
the 11 lane would have been a good view at that point.
Well, they're all gone now.
But there goes that guy.
Super, Joe. Good, Ray. That's kind of the point. Absolutely not, Joel.
Oh yeah, because Joel.
I haven't even been cruising on my YouTube recently. I have been just busy from stem to stern.
Did you
And now
send it
this
to
weekend
Joyce?
is
'Cause-
super busy.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's not on YouTube. That's he's posting on the Model Train Outsider Facebook page.
Oh. Okay
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, in fact, I should
no, I
get
haven't.
the link to that and share that. Yeah, for those who would like to talk to me via Facebook, but don't necessarily like my political commentary,
2042. I could go in
3
20,
years. Technically, you could go in 3 years.
7?
Technically, you could go today, but you'd lose a lot of money.
Yeah, I lose a lot of money. I think it's 27 I could retire in. I think I might go
Yeah,
another
3
year.
more years after this one. So
After
this
this
is 23, 24.
Why would it be after this one?
Oh.
I only ask. I don't know. I have
Then
to go
you
back
would
and
go
look.
out in 2026. 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26.
Yeah, so I could go out in 26. But I think I probably won't. But I also have to see how I feel at that time.
See, if you go to my Model Train
Okay,
Outsider
John.
Facebook page,
What are you
you
still doing
avoid
up, John?
you avoid when I start getting political.
Don't do that. She might power up it so much to burn it out by overloading it.
There's that worry.
Yeah, indeed.
We'll put a resistor on her.
Oh, yeah. Well, while I have the energy and somewhat patience, nothing like I used to. It's terrible.
See, we work well. Joyce has ADHD,
Yeah.
and I have ADD.
So I keep them awake.
No, that's just it. When you sleep, you're out.
Yeah, it's true. I am out. I do.
The only problem is being that
I do
woman.
run
Being
out.
that woman, you occasionally turn into a blast furnace.
Oh, have you been feeling that again?
Only
Just a couple times I've noticed it.
Only a couple of times recently. Otherwise, no,
Yeah.
you're not. No, I really, in all the stereotype stuff, I got no complaints. We have our personality clashes at times, but that kind of stuff, no.
Your opinion on your announcement. Okay, I will definitely watch it, Joel.
Yes, I'll have to show it to her.
Yeah, okay. But if it's on your thingy, I should be able to find it.
If it's on my thing, you should be able to find it.
On your channel.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Nuclear. Ah.
Good night, folks.
I don't know. It'll probably just take us 2 hours to get everything in that truck.
All right, so are we going to get up tomorrow and load everything up and take it over to that place real fast, or right after your hair appointment? Because we got the concert to
It's
go
only
to.
open till 1.
Okay, so
So we've got to go before.
okay.
Unless you want to go on your own.
Not really.
We didn't think so. But I think we can even take that bag of styrofoam. So we don't have to try to squeeze it in the garbage can.
Hey, I know how to find things on my thingy.
Thingy.
Usually you just have to click a couple of things and there it is.
Words sometimes are hard. CDO.
Especially after work.
Yeah.
Especially after work. You spend all day trying to be erudite, lucid, clear, proper.
Yes, I know.
And when you come home, your brain's
It's
just like,
just
we're done now.
It's off.
We've done our job. We've done now.
Yeah, it is absolutely off duty. Yeah, I've heard that one. It said, my OCD is so bad, I have CDO. Yeah. That's a funny one. I straightened some things up I was projecting for my students, the second group, when I said, it's just a little OCD. So that got into a conversation of OCD. A lot of them are like, oh yeah, I'm OCD. I said everybody is a little OCD. It's only bad if you have a lot of OCD.
Let's flip this way. It'll be easier to find.
You can't handle things and it drives you
can't
crazy.
handle the truth.
Yeah. Okay, Lenny responded. Okay, cool, that works.
All right, now I gotta find
HU?
what?
Lynn responded.
HU?
I put 8 instead of R.
Oh, so you're questioning your typing ability.
I am absolutely annoyed with my typing abilities. That should have had
Well,
a
that
question
makes 2
mark.
of us.
I'm not off that far. It's bad if it annoys others. That's really what it comes down to. At least that's how I explain it to my 10-year-olds. I had an autistic kid last year. You know, he's on the spectrum. Pretty far on it, too. And, oh, buddy, I had to dot all of my I's and cross all of my T's or I was going to hear about it. Ah, there you are. Perfect.
All right, now which one?
Ah, they've been shopping. She says, okay. Hi, Lindy Loves. Love. Are we saying hi to Kyan?
Oh, we gotta say hi to Kyan. All right, I'll have to show it when she can hear it.
Shopping game.
At least I
Yeah,
think that's
it's
good.
okay. I will look at it later.
You'll look at my thingy later. I'm just repeating you.
Oh, you're right.
All right, here we go. So you behave. And then all right, here we go.
Kyan!
Hope I love
Oh, we love you so much.
you. Lynn and Chris, love you guys too.
We love you guys too, of course.
Oh, I just cut you off again. And now,
Yeah,
Kyan, wait a minute,
mister.
Kyan. I gotta find the right one. Where's the right? That we'll just do it the hard way. We're gonna do it the shaky hands McGee way. Where is
Okay.
Where is it? It's right here.
Right there.
Okay. I gotta get in close. Joyce, look on my screen and tell me if the track is showing up.
Shake.
Yeah, shut up.
I know. I could have done it.
There you go, Kyan, are you
There,
ready?
Kyan.
There it is, Kyan, there's your
There's your
car.
Haribo
There's your car.
car.
There's your car, Kyan. Oh, your car's on Opa's train.
Yay! So's Alma's.
Yeah, Almost is on the train too, but she doesn't like it.
No, don't say that. What time is this food due?
They said 6:13 to 6:23.
Okay, so we should be all right till 6?
We should be all right till 6. We should be all right. Liz should already be home, right?
She is.
Right.
I'll just text her too.
Yeah, the bug guy was a former student of mine.
Ah, good. He did come.
You had me about 16 years ago. I was online already. Just as I was about to click
Okay.
go live, he knocked on the front door.
Gotcha.
And I didn't take time to look at him, otherwise I might have recognized him.
Right.
But of course, he's double the age he was when I had him.
Yes, of course, and they change.
Yeah, you do change a lot. He says, you know, you were one of my favorite teachers. It's
Aw,
on. I don't know if
nice.
these guys heard it, the guys that were here at the time.
Yeah.
But, I'm a damn good
Oh,
teacher.
that makes you feel good. Of course
Always.
you were.
I'm a damn good teacher. Except for the really, really uptight parents. How dare you talk about that in the classroom with my student? Honey,
It
it's part
just
of the
really
class.
got bad at the end. It still is.
Whoops, not that one. There, we'll go back to this one. But it's like 10 minutes into the start of this video, so I'll go back and see if it was audible on the mic. This is a good mic. It picks up a lot of stuff. Now, Mike McCarville was here. He's a good mic, too, but that's a different story.
He is a good mic.
He doesn't pick up stuff. He delivers stuff.
Yep. Well,
Like-
you've ordered several things from him recently.
Yep.
You got a lot to do.
Yeah. That is exactly
Oh,
the...
that's perfect.
That is exactly the, that's going to be the Squeaky Spring Hotel.
Okay.
If you look at the pictures of Squeaky
Yeah,
Spring
I
Hotel, that's
remember it.
exactly what it is.
Starmix.
And then this one is just going to be the telegraph office.
Okay.
Zuckerberg's telegraph
Gotcha,
office.
gotcha.
Or, and I got another one that's already over there. That's going to be IKEA's
Okay.
Swedish furniture.
How big a diorama are you making?
It's going to be, I'm hoping 2 foot by 4 to 5 foot.
And where are we going to put
It's going
this?
to go on the wall over there. Either up there. I'll take down the Europe map, sad as it is.
Okay.
Up there. I don't
Are
want to
you
take
gonna
down the
put a
Deutsche Bahn
train
map.
through
I'm not
it?
taking down the Deutsche Bahn.
You going to put a steamer on it?
Yeah, yeah. Honey,
Oh, we have a steamer.
yeah, that's something I was talking to you about. I've got the Black Mamba here.
Right. That's
I
been
just
a
have to
while
get that.
since
You don't remember. I talked about there was a piece from something that I have to put on here.
Yeah.
That, well, yeah.
Oh, we have to go to the
No,
bookstore, do we?
Never mind.
Okay. He's making a small Matt Clark diorama.
Yeah. Yeah, I already showed you this. A little bit of alteration. He actually has a white beard. Stanley Steamer.
Okay.
Lil.
Okay.
Or that will be that's Donna Lott.
Okay.
Again, I'll paint the dress, and then that's Lil.
You take it sideways. I can't see it.
Turn around! Turn around!
Yeah, well, parasol. So.
Yeah, I'll cut that out.
All right, fine. Good.
And then that'll be one of the ladies from the Itchy Crotch.
Okay. Cool.
And then I haven't decided who that would be. But I've also got there.
Yeah,
I
your
put them
reference.
away, but I've got the sheriff. I've got Matt Clark. I don't have a Daisy. I'm still looking for a Daisy.
Well, she can be hard to find.
I'm not doing a layout. I'm doing a diorama
Yes,
where we're gonna have the
nowhere
big
near
gulch.
that serious.
We're gonna have the big gulch station, and then we're gonna have the main. It's going to be condensed because the buildings actually were further away from each other. But we're going to have the sheriff's office. We're going to have the Itchy Crotch.
Funny, Ray.
We're going to have the Itchy Crotch Club. We're going to have the Filthy Glass Saloon, catty corner from each other, which is how I always envision them in my head, anyhow. And then we'll have the mayor's office and some of the more famous. Mentioned buildings from the 3 years of Matt Clark.
What? In Starboard. That's cute.
So
you
yeah,
all watch our video,
if you're
our-
relatively new to
our
the channel and
opening?
you don't know who Kyan is, it's an old picture now. But
Yeah, Lindy,
that
we need a
is my
new one.
grandson Kyan from about 5 months ago,
Yep.
maybe 6 months
Has
ago.
that new shirt come in?
His? No.
What the heck?
Yeah, tell me about it. Or did it and I gave it to him already? Maybe it did and I forgot.
Huh, Lindy, do you have that t-shirt? I never saw it, but that doesn't mean a thing.
Well, that's my grandson. Except his hair is twice that length now. My daughter's gonna get mad at me. I keep telling him, Kai, are you gonna let me cut your hair? No. No, 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 no. I said, I can't cut your hair anyhow. Your mom would kill me.
Well, it is a Western diorama, but so is Matt Clark.
Edward, you know Matt Clark.
Yeah,
You know Matt Clark. It's out west.
yeah, it is West.
All right, John McCurk,
All
because
right,
you
John.
are going to work
Take
soon, aren't
care.
you?
Oh, you're going to work tonight.
'Cause
Ay,
I think
ay,
that's what
ay.
he said. He's running a late bus
Oh, I
tonight.
hope all your passengers are nice,
No, it's all punk kids.
including the punk kids. You can handle them. Me lad.
So it's just gonna be a.
Wow, does this have a delay?
Yeah, because it's not live.
Yes, it is.
Do you see the word live? Do you see how
Yeah.
there's a gray dot next to it? Watch. Click. Jumps ahead. And now the dot is red.
Wow, why does it do that?
Ta-da! You might have switched screens or something like that when you were looking
I
up something.
did no such thing. That's really weird.
All the drunken party types. Friday
yeah,
night, late night.
gotcha. Okay. Well, maybe they'll all just go to sleep or something. Oh, it's
The
a
wheels
rough
on the
job,
bus
bud.
go round and round,
I'm
round and
sympathetic.
round,
I got 'em
round and
too.
round. The Dane on the Viking goes, the Dane on the bus goes, grrr,
It's the drunks from Oktoberfest. Yeah,
and
September.
on the Alex.
Yep.
Yeah, the Alex is parked over there for now because, yeah, you asked me about that, and I don't know if I understood your question correctly about it. You asked me about it, and I responded saying if this is what you were asking, this is the problem. But that problem is going to be solved very soon. In fact, by a week from today, that problem will be solved. Knock on wood.
Well, the driver shouldn't be sleeping anyway, indeed.
Indeed.
All right.
Driver shouldn't be sleeping.
Find it on one of the videos I like to watch.
But see, you make that joke, the driver shouldn't be asleep anyhow, and it always reminds me of one of my favorite sort of dad jokes, grandpa jokes. When I die, I want to be like my grandfather and just go quietly in my sleep, not screaming and yelling like the 5 passengers in his car.
What year is Matt Clark?
Matt Clark is set in 1891, even though it's been 3 years long.
We have undoubtedly gone through
It's
a year or
comic
two
book
there.
time. It's comic book time.
That was at least 3 years of stuff. It's
But it
gotta be
did do 2 Christmas
1894.
specials, so it had to cover at least 2 years.
Right.
So it's like 1894 now, 1893 for Matt Clark.
So
Yeah, it's out west, the 1890s.
Started in 1891.
Yeah, the first year was 1891 and we never updated the map. But you definitely had Christmas, and you definitely had a second Christmas.
Right. No stars.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are so many people who don't catch certain jokes. Like Diesel Dan, you get the guy going, no, this was 1891 and diesel engines didn't come out till the early 1900s. Actually, diesel engines first appeared in 1897, but yes, it's after the time period. Well, then why is Diesel Dan called Diesel Dan? Well, technically it has nothing to do with his... That joke has been written and never been told.
Yep. The ladies at the Itchy Crotch gave him that name. How come we're stuck at 39? Are we really stuck at 39?
I don't know.
Come on, people, let's get Anthony at 40.
God, I wouldn't mind being 40 again.
Yeah, me neither. Oh, in my lunchroom, they were talking about their birthdays. 37. Holy
Kid.
cats.
Kid.
I look at the 40-year-olds and go, I think I'd like to go back to 40, and now we're 30.
Yeah, but at 40, the best picture you ever
Oh.
took was you were 43?
Okay.
And that's saying something because you've taken a lot of great pics.
I really think I'd do that to my hair again, but I don't know.
I keep waiting for you to do it to your hair again.
I'm not ready. I don't know what to do with my hair. I don't like it. I'm not doing anything drastic because she's going to put it
You
up.
look 20. You look 25. I mean, you still never look your age.
She's
but-
going to put it up for me, so I'm not going to do anything to it, so she can put it up.
Yes, Diesel is a German family name.
Yep. Do not believe that's why they call him Diesel Dan.
Oh, it's part of the joke.
Okay. Well, as you can see, he never really shared the joke with me either.
I haven't shared the joke with her either.
I have ideas, but nothing real firm.
Yes, the gentleman was a German mechanic, inventor.
Haven't 3
Machinist.
people come in since we were at 39? Come on, y'all.
Don't say it. Last time we went down 5.
I know we did.
But anyhow, yeah, but that's the joke. For example, people complain about that, and then it is 1891, and at the train station in Big Gulch, there's a window that has a Wi-Fi symbol on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the Minor Station, or Paradise City Station, I forget which one, is Pikachu the Pokemon. And he's also on a wanted poster at the other end of the station. there's all kinds of anachronistic jokes in there. Jokes that are not of that time period.
Absolutely.
Just like any good comedy. Look at how many Monty Python,
Right.
you know, the movies have jokes at a time. Like the Space Aliens, the Star Wars bit in the middle of Life of Brian.
Nope.
I love anachronistic jokes, especially when they're subdued and hidden.
Well, yeah, that one when
Well, the first time you meet Lil, she's singing "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina."
Right, which is not really far, which is very far off. But then when Lil is in her dressing room and it has all the bills for the
Yeah, different shows.
Yeah, the shows coming in, and there are several shows that were way out of date.
Yeah, they've got West Side Story. They change every couple of seconds.
Yeah,
They change.
yeah, you kept changing them.
Every time the characters move,
We didn't have a ton of humor in that episode, so we were trying to do visual jokes.
visual background humor. So like, there's Oklahoma is on. You know, it starts with actual bills of shows at the time.
At the time, right.
And then slowly it's like, all of a sudden it's West Side Story and Oklahoma.
Well, the wanted poster was for Billy, and then it was for Smokey.
Yeah, the wanted poster suddenly changes to Smokey in the background.
Yay, we have 40. Bravo, thank you.
Whoever did, she's eternally grateful to you.
I we need those nice
If eternity
rounds.
lasts 5
We
seconds.
need those decades, you know. Powers of 10. Whew. Yeah, I know, and get one answer. Indeed, Thomas. That's what we had
The
this.
famous joke.
Yes.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember the first comedian I heard tell me that joke. Not tell me, but tell that joke where I heard it.
So we had the shower last Sunday for Valentina.
Might have been George Carlin, but
And
yeah.
so the stories came out that AJ called her by the wrong name twice. Once when he was introducing her, because he was training her to be a server at a restaurant. And then when he proposed, he called her Valentina Marie, and she's Valentina Maria. Her mother is Maria.
Yep, there was the big oops there. All right.
Hey, I just right this time.
Hey, good for you.
Right there? Right there.
No, none of those. None of
Super.
those. But yeah, we put a lot of stuff. The Matt Clark stuff, the humor is highbrow, lowbrow, dirty humor, dad jokes, puns, innuendos. Speaking of diesels, your pick would be the BR212. You can't go wrong with that one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that I have a favorite diesel engine. The Hercules 223 is always kind of cool. The considering how many electric locomotives I have, you know, the Taurus is probably my favorite looking locomotive in terms of electric. Diesel, I mean, I've got 3, 4 218s now. And the 220. I don't think the 220 is an attractive locomotive, but it's a classic. But it's not cool looking. But yeah, we were catching that, Joseph. And the thing is, the Justin Fields comment, that one writer blew that completely out of context. Now has everybody going off like, oh, he's ripping on, you know, yeah, everybody was expecting big things out of them. But to be honest, I didn't expect Justin Fields to survive long in the NFL anyhow. I don't think he was truly ready for the pros when he left. I don't think C.J. Stroud was ready for the pros when he left. But there's a lot of things. But
We'll see.
C.J. Stroud might translate better into the pros because he is more of a pocket quarterback who doesn't want to run, and the NFL prefers their quarterbacks not to run. But Justin Fields was a running quarterback. He's got a big arm, but he went to a bad team that needed a lot of work. And, of course, we got Deshaun Watson, and after week 1, we're all thinking, oh, my God, this might be the year. And then the egg they laid against Pittsburgh. And they still should have won that game.
Yeah, we should have, but it was horrible. And then losing
Yeah.
Chubb was just
And losing Chubb,
heartbreaking.
but getting Kareem Hunt back takes some
Well,
of that steam away.
they finally made a smart move there.
Yeah, they finally made
Jeez,
some
you
move.
wanted to do something, do it. That's unusual. Okay.
All right. But anyhow,
Yes. No more football, sorry. American football, that is.
Well, Liverpool won in their Europa League.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Mo scored a goal. I was actually going to
Nice.
wear my Mo jersey today, and then I thought I might be working on something and didn't want to get it dirty.
Gotcha.
Anyhow, we want to thank everybody that's still here because most people run out. But as
Bailed.
we're getting ready to log off, a lot of people run off like the bills are being passed out and last one has to pay.
Right.
You know, we went from 27 to 19 real fast here. Well, they're ending. I'm out of here.
Okay.
But anyhow.
Now they know the ending by heart.
They know the ending by heart. That's right. It's on plenty of channels.
Indeed.
I stole it from some British guy that goes on every Sunday morning.
You did?
No. No, he's stolen it from me now.
Oh, I'm with you.
Anyhow,
Okay.
so once again, thanks for choosing to spend part of your Friday evening, afternoon with us. We are always deeply
Night.
your night, evening. I thought I had covered with evening.
Shut up and go.
Somebody's in trouble later. Anyhow, thank you for joining us. And on behalf of the
Sweet.
soon to be more appreciative wife, we're going to say Auf Wiedersehen
Choose.
and happy trains. Take care, everybody.